We're gonna go ahead and watch this, chat. You guys have been spamming me. This is the Ash Trevino one. So Stephanie covers Ash Trevino. I don't know who this is. Y'all been spamming it for months. I've been ignoring you. I'm not gonna lie. I've been ignoring the out of y'all. Hi, YouTube. Let us watch, shall we?
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Have you ever heard of the Russian sleep experiment? It's a fake fictional story. It's a creepypasta where 5 subjects, they're prisoners of war. They're given the option. You can take part in our sleep study where you will be awake for 30 full days. You don't get an inkling of sleep for 30 days.
You're gonna die.
And if you survive, if you make it to the end,
Hi,
you can
Stephanie.
be free. We're not going to hold you prisoner anymore. You can walk out of here and nobody is going to hurt you. It's a singular month in exchange for the rest of your life. Why would you not take it? The experimenters, the researchers, they developed this special gas that's going to prevent the subjects from falling asleep. And the first 5 days, everything goes well. They hardly complain. They're like, this is the best thing ever. We're going to be free in 25 days. After the first 5 days, the subjects start exhibiting severe paranoia. They stop talking to each other.
I'm paranoid. Wait, is this about the Ash Trevino thing? Whoa. Oh, is this the right one? Yes? Are we watching the right one? Are we sure? Oh, we gotta wait. There's a segue. There's a segue coming.
Only companions in the entire study, they turn on each other. They start whispering into the microphones for the researchers. They believe if they turn on their fellow subjects, they can win the trust of the experimenters that are testing on them and guarantee their freedom. 9 days in, one of the subjects does not stop screaming for 3 hours straight. He is screaming until he tears his vocal cords. And long story short, by the halfway mark, all of the windows that the experimenters are looking into, they're covered in feces. They tell the subjects on the intercom, "We are opening the chamber to test the microphone. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of you your immediate freedom." They just hear a singular voice call back out to them.
Yo.
"We no longer want to be freed." By the end of it, the researchers in and they got to get the subjects out. They find once they open the door, the subjects have started tearing off their own flesh, consuming it. The researchers are providing the medical care to save them, but in the end, the subjects, they all want to go back into that chamber. They all want more of that stimulant gas. The same thing that ruined them, turned them into these violent zombie-like creatures. They want that gas. They don't want to sleep. So the experimenters ask, why would you possibly want something that destroyed you? They say, well, I must remain awake. It's an addicting idea, the theory, the concept of what happens to humans if they don't sleep. There are content creators that have been trying to replicate that feeling. TikTok Live being one of the platforms. It's called Disturbed Sleep live streams. This is a whole niche of TikTok live streams. A camera is set up and it's live streaming a tiny little bunker.
Oh my God. That's where it's segue. That's the fucking segue. Yo, I thought I clicked on the wrong thing. Holy shit. Chat, I've been watching a guy get water tortured, bro. The Chinese water torture has been dropping on his head and he's just tweaking the fuck out.
Esque room with a tiny bed. There are neon lights typically everywhere. It's not the type of environment that you're gonna catch some good quality sleep. You have the live streamer on the bed and then there's this behind them. And this live streamer, I mean, their eyes are closed. They're acting like nobody else is in the room with them. It feels oddly voyeuristic and illegal. The board usually says, for this donation, this will happen. So for example, for a Galaxy donation, a giant air balloon puppet, the ones you see in front of the car dealerships, will blow up, fill up the room, and start singing Baby Shark loudly at full volume. The concept is very simple.
It's so dumb, I
You
love
donate
it.
money to watch the live streamer get woken up over and over and over again, not being allowed to fall asleep. Never
Chat, we should do that one time. At least once. All for $5. I don't care, bro. We got to do it.
getting the sleep that they desperately claim that they want.
Are they sleeping or are they sitting there?
They're sleeping. They're laying down, eyes closed.
So how did that balloon pop up?
Once you donate, it's all automated.
What?
Yeah, I don't know if someone
The
is there
integrations,
helping.
bro.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, and they make money. You get your own little Russian sleep experiment. You get to torture these live streamers, and humanity becomes less appealing for aliens to save.
It's true, actually true. Bro, it says a lot more about, instead of the streamer, it says a lot more about the people donating. You are one sick if you're donating to that shit, bro.
This is the TikTok live streaming world. It is like an internet's no man's land. I mean, sometimes it's fine. Like sometimes you get those packaging videos or like the crystal scoops or the live harvesting pearls from oysters.
I've been watching the ones with the brick. They line up bricks and they just boom, 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 boom. They fall down and then they pick them back up.
I don't know how good that is, but you get those. Other times you go on there and it just progressively gets weirder. There are people pretending to be robots saying, if you donate X amount, I will slap myself in the face. There's this one guy who's on live. He makes these card houses, like, you know, you stack the cards, and he just starts crying, begging viewers not to donate, which is confusing. And of course, reverse psychologies everyone into donating because they want to know what's going to happen if they donate. And he's just sobbing like someone is holding him at gunpoint. Some people sit there and
filter on.
they tell you the fate of the rest of your life for a small Galaxy donation of $9. I mean, it is the place to breed insanity. And as of recently, a woman named Ash Trevino becomes one of the more perverse additions to TikTok Live. Ash Trevino is a 36-year-old woman from Texas who is very clearly doing well for herself on these TikTok live streams. She claims that the most that she's ever made in a single live stream, one sitting there for 2.5 hours, she received $12,000 in donations.
Damn! Nah, gotta go live on TikTok.
$12,000. And her content is not even that stimulating. Like, if you're swiping through TikTok Live, you see a man sleeping next to a giant air balloon puppet, you see a man crying on live, these are gonna capture your attention. She just sits there at her makeup desk on the phone talking to her boyfriend. And you're just listening to them talk.
That kind of makes no sense. How does that blow up, chat? Is she kind of funny with it or what? So weird. You ever watched The Mask? You know what I'm talking about? The green one with Jim Carrey or whatever his name is. I see a that kind of looks like him, but without the green face, but with that type of facial structure in front of the mirror with her titties out. You know what I mean? That's like the only time I ever see like anything that's kind of boring, I guess.
Listen to their conversation like a little fly on the wall. I mean, one of her many boyfriends. One of them is named Francisco, and the live stream is set up to face her. She's got him on speakerphone on a separate phone, and she's all giggly. She's like a little girl in love. She's 36 though, so I guess a woman in love. She puts the phone up to the live stream.
2.3K people watching you right now.
Francisco, you just hear his voice. He says, I'm just saying, I'm not going to share advice. Like, if you want to take the time of your day to actually get to know me.
You want to take the time of your day to actually get to know me.
No, I don't need them to like you. I don't need them to like you, sir.
Oh my God.
Guys, he's innocent. And I don't care what y'all say, what y'all think. He's innocent. And y'all are going to see that. And when he becomes...
What are they commenting?
And yeah, they were like, oh, he's not innocent. He's dumb, this and that. Oh, they said he's innocent, but he's in jail. Oh my God. They said, honestly, rip to those who lost their lives.
And her viewers, Ash Trevino's viewers, they start turning on her, asking her, why would any of this be funny? Why is this funny to you? Why are you laughing? And she responds angrily, why is it funny? Because you guys are sitting there posting it on my stuff. That's why it's funny. Because y'all are making it seem like some man is guilty of that when he has nothing to do with that. So that's why it's so funny, because y'all are blaming somebody that's innocent. Like, y'all don't even know the whole freaking story, bro.
If he's in jail, well, no, okay, let's not act like innocent men don't get locked up all the time, okay? So that shit happens. It's real. You know what I mean? But the majority of the that are in jail, they've done the crime. I don't know.
Y'all see what y'all hear and what y'all read, and it's not even the truth. Like, I don't care. I don't care. Which has people begging the question, what did he do?
I'm not going to trust her judgment. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
What is he innocent of? March 28th, 2018, 9:30 p.m.
Feel like the Hamburger
The
Alert,
King
you know what I
County
mean?
sheriffs are called to this apartment complex. It's a big apartment complex. It's one of those where you have multiple different units, multiple different buildings and facilities. And the police, they know why they're called to the apartment, but even when they get there physically, it's like every single resident came out of their unit and now they're just running. They're scrambling. People are running every which way.
Oh, they're leaving? They're running? I'll be nosy. I'm not running. I'm pulling my camera. Cameraman can't die. I'm gonna be in that like this. Excuse me, what's your name?
Our apartment complex feels like all hell has broken loose. The police go straight to the place where everybody is running away from. They go straight there. They're going in the opposite direction. They get to the side of the apartment complex, and on the pavement, they find two bodies laying there soaked in blood.
Holy
Two girls, 13-year-old Elizabeth Juarez and 19-year-old Eviana Cortez. And now the question that police have is, why would anybody want to kill two teenage girls? especially one that's 13. This doesn't even make any sense. What kind of people have it out for them? In 13-year-old Elizabeth's bag, they find a black can of spray paint. And above her body, they see all of this graffiti. They're called like gang tags. You mark your territory, essentially, street gangs will, by graffitiing their symbols, their names, their street names, their gang names, their acronyms. And it has been reported that Elizabeth, 13-year-old Elizabeth, was part of the South Side Locos. It's a street gang. And I say was a part of very loosely because she's 13. I barely knew what I was doing at 13. The last thing...
I don't even think I was conscious at 13, to be honest with you. I feel like I blipped into consciousness at like 17. I was like, oh my God, I have hand.
And I had the mental capacity to do is pledge my loyalty and life to a gang. But apparently, she had seen that a rival from an opposing gang, their rival street gang, was moving into their apartment complex. And prior to moving in, they had come in and graffitied their name, ULK, all over the apartment complex. So as the rival gang member, she goes and she just starts crossing it out. She crosses out their acronyms, crosses out their names, and that is perceived to be a direct threat. Somebody sees her doing this. Now you're gonna think, if you see a little 13-year-old girl graffitiing on the side of the wall, even if you're a part of the opposing gang...
No, bro, motherfuckers is ignorant. You got the wrong color shirt on, you could get fucking killed. You got a certain hat on, motherfuckers is gonna start trying, like, it's stupid.
I don't know. Aren't there codes of conduct? Don't harm children. Would you not just think to yourself, what has this 13-year-old gotten into joining a gang? But no, she is shot and killed. Along with her, Eviana Cortez, who just happened to be there that day. She had nothing to do with the graffiti. Elizabeth is shot in the back of the head and the back of the left thigh. Eviana is shot 4 times to her stomach, leg, and left ear.
Holy.
They are both pronounced dead at the hospital.
So he lives there and he just walked out and opened fire?
In a car. Yeah.
Wow.
That is Francisco, and that is what he is in jail for. This is the person that TikToker, if you can even call her that, viral train wreck, Ash Trevino, is dating and is live streaming, talking to on the phone while he's in prison for these crimes. She said, they said RIP to the people who lost their lives, and she's cackling. She claims that he's innocent, but is he really?
This little old fat, if you don't get this little old fat off the internet, bro, get the here, bro.
Shell casings were found at the crime scene, and Francisco's DNA was...
You laughing at RIP, you next. You one burger away from it, you fat cholesterol high as shit. You got snicker fingers holding the phone.
19 shell casings were found at the crime scene, and Francisco's DNA was found on those shell casings. In Francisco's apartment, they find a revolver, a 9mm magazine matching the shell casings left at the crime scene. They find a laser sight for a handgun to help aim. They find loose ammo as well as writing that confirmed Francisco's gang affiliation. They find messages and photos referencing the double homicide on his phone. In one video that Francisco takes, he is at the memorial for both of his victims. This is days after the murder, allegedly saying, "Man, shows you the repercussions when you f with a G-man. You already know what it is. You."
How are you flexing killing 2 little girls? That doesn't make sense at all. Oh, so dumb.
LK, his gang name. It is believed that he sent this video to fellow gang members on Snapchat. They also found messages from another gang member to Francisco, sending a picture of Elizabeth with the words RIP little one, to which Francisco's account responds, that bitch. 13-year-old. But another aspect to this case that makes people feel like, yeah, sure, but he's definitely guilty. He's got quite a list of crimes that he's been convicted for aside from the double homicide. Tampering with evidence. He tried to intimidate a minor to take the fall for a gun that was found in his car. He has 2 convictions for assault, one of which took place in the jail. The reason that he assaulted a fellow inmate is apparently a guy walks into the unit. Turns out he's part of the rival gang, and without any provocation, Francisco takes off his jail slippers and just starts jumping on this man, punching, kicking him, throwing him onto the ground out of nowhere. Aside from that, the 4 assault cases, the witness tampering case, Francisco is already in prison for another murder that he has been convicted of another rival gang member.
Jesus Christ, bro.
3 people?
Yes. He is connected to 3 separate murders, 4 assault cases, 1 case of tampering with a witness. The prosecutors wrote this about him. Given the defendant's brutal course of conduct and disregard for human life, the defendant clearly presents a substantial likelihood of danger to the entire community. He is in prison, but somehow that is exactly what TikToker Ash Trevino wants in a romantic partner.
No, she can't keep anything else. Look at her, bro. That's an actual thing, chat. Like, when girls can't keep a man, they just look for men that are locked up. It's a real thing. Little jailbirds, bro. I promise you, it's a real thing. You're laughing, chat. I swear to God, it's serious. It's bad, bro.
She likes to date men in prison that are accused of doing heinous things and documents all of this on her TikTok lives.
Weirdo.
Netizens are getting involved in real time to try and call the authorities to get her children taken away from her and her prison boyfriends. They want to save her kids from her. Her being Ash Trevino, the now infamous inmate hopper.
Inmate hopper. Oh my God. W intro. Oh, it's been a while since we watched Stephanie, chat. It's a good one, baby. That's what the I'm talking about. Come on now. Tell me about this. By the way, she look like she hide pickles under her tongue. I don't trust her. I don't trust her.
A few disclaimers for today's case. There are heavy mentions of DV, SA, potential CA, or potential neglect.
Goddamn.
I also want to make it very clear that the 2 minor daughters involved have already been through a lot publicly. We're going to be doing everything in our power to keep them anonymous and, of course, use just initials regardless of if their info is already all the way out there. It's also important to note that all the allegations regarding the Trevino family, especially Ash Trevino, are claims that Ashley herself has publicly admitted to or done on camera. Though at the time of filming, no charges have been made or pressed against Ash Trevino. The only quote-unquote guilty parties would be the people mentioned who are previously incarcerated. Any and all opinions, commentary, and theories are netizen-based and not personal. We're just trying to report on all online sentiment and aspects surrounding this case.
Yes, sir. She covering them bases. And also, I would like to make a statement. All my comments and concerns are literally just from netizens online. It's nothing personal. I have nothing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like to form factual based opinions, but sometimes I don't, and it's all allegedly. And chatisons in my chat, you could join twitch.tv/Kenji if you'd like to join in for the chatisons. We have opinions, and these are all allegedly.
I will have to say that I embarked on this brain rotting journey that is Ash Trevino's lore, believing that it was going to be an episode for my other podcast, Moral of the Story, which I'm going to link below. A lot of you guys have been messaging me that it's the perfect cleanser, if you will, almost for mental health after some of these recent RM cases. But the more that I started jumping into the rabbit holes of court documents of her boyfriends, 2 things occurred. I believe that she is a danger to her children and perhaps even society. And 2, I feel like she has laid eggs in my brain. I feel like my IQ has dropped at least 10 points after listening to her live streams.
Damn, Stephanie.
So with that said, let's get started. In the past few weeks, the internet has collectively band together to get a CPS case opened on a TikToker named Ash Trevino. Ash Trevino is, I want to say she is constantly live streaming. It's like being a CCTV camera on her phone, just a wall camera, a fly on the wall.
How old are her kids?
She is 36. She has 2 daughters that are 16 and 13. And she believes that the internet is unjustly trying to get them taken away from her. Ashley addresses this in a live stream saying,
"Y'all are really trying to get my kids taken from me, and it's not going to happen. Do you know how many CPS cases I've had on me in the last 4 months?
That's not.
And I still have custody of my kids?
That's not a flex. That's not. The fact that there's even cases open, I feel like that's not. Whatever. Go ahead.
Like, you do understand when you call CPS, you have to have actual proof that they're in an unfit condition, right? You do understand that, right? For those of y'all that love to call CPS on me, y'all do understand. You have to have proof that my kids are in harm's way. My kids are this. My kids are that. Y'all really have to have proof.
So here is the list of proof that netizens have gathered against Ash Trevino.
Did she just brag about she had 20 cases on her?
And nothing has happened.
Hi, Mr. Panda.
That's her biggest flex, biggest accomplishment, is evading CPS, falling through the cracks of CPS. In the state of Texas, one of the main things CPS workers are looking for is kitchen and food availability. The guidelines are along the lines of kitchen should have healthy, readily available food. CPS looks for balanced food options like fruits, vegetables, dairy, and proteins to ensure proper child nutrition. which some netizens are pointing out that it seems like the entirety of the food consumption that Ash eats. I mean, there are fitness gurus who have done 40-minute videos on Ash Trevino's diet, just critiquing the way she eats.
I mean, we all know she's not, look at her. I wouldn't say she's healthy. You know what I mean? Let's be real here. I'm gonna be honest with you. The kid it's kind of questionable when it comes to food. You know what I mean? Because again, I grew up like, brother, there was weeks, months where I was just eating ramen noodles, honey buns and you know what I mean? And tuna sandwiches. You know what I mean? When I was at my grandparents' house. Just stupid. You know what I mean? Like just being a kid, bro. Like now I'm healthier. Hey, hold the I might have to talk to my mom.
Main consumption is hot Cheeto and bean dip.
Bean dip, because I'm the bean dip queen.
Ashley does these massive grocery hauls that netizens have been dubbing the Red 40 haul. Red 40 after the chemical coloring, because she will spend nearly $800 at the grocery store and just come home with different variations of hot Cheetos and sour candies.
Ew.
Which I will say, not having access to healthy produce or fresh food is a big problem, especially in the state of this economy. And I don't think that netizens should dictate what other people eat or don't eat. But a few things. Ashley is a mother, and it's typically a natural want for parents to want to feed their kids fresh, healthy meals that are nutritious. But if she does not have the financial resources, that's one thing.
It's not even financial resources, and I hate this argument, to be honest with you. Chat, it's not expensive to eat healthy. The organic healthy maybe sure, but listen, chicken breast, a bag of rice, a bag of potatoes, that would feed you for like 2 weeks. Okay, not the chicken, you gotta buy multiple chicken breasts, but like the rice and potatoes will last you for a while, bro. You add chicken onto that, and like, brother, like I feel like that's healthy, nutritious, and it's better than in Red 40 potato chips and Takis and all that extra bull. You know what I mean? So I don't like that dumbass. I already know there's gonna be someone in the comments. Well, Kenji, I'm actually poor and I eat McDonald's every day and that's why I'm fat and unhealthy. No, like it's cheaper to cook food. Like what are we talking about? I apologize though.
But she is spending $700, $800 on chips and snacks during these grocery hauls. There is not a fresh leaf in sight.
$700? Like,
and she lets you
100 bags of chips?
Yeah, she'll read you the whole receipt. She'll show you the receipt. She loves showing people how much money she spends.
$738.
Which naturally angers a lot of netizens. A lot of netizens feel like if I had $800 to blow on groceries in a single trip, I would get my kids everything fresh and nutritious. I would get them so many eggs.
But would they though? Like, let's be honest, bro. I feel like the internet is always trying to like dictate someone else's life, but they don't even enact whatever the they're preaching, if we're being honest. Like, do they eat healthy? Are they very conscious of their decisions when it comes to their eating habits? You know what I mean? True, I'm just trying to say, bro. Probably like 20% of them.
In another live stream, her kids are talking about how they want Ashley to make food for them tomorrow. And she's shocked. She's genuinely shocked on the live stream.
Oh, y'all want me to cook tomorrow?
Both of y'all.
She gives both of her kids a death glare. Like they have asked her to sacrifice her
Yikes.
life for a bag of tennis balls. Netizens point out they have never seen her daughters eat a home-cooked meal. Ever.
Yeah.
And they suspect that her two kids are probably suffering from a lack of nutrition. She also eats chips in a very interesting way, or at least a few times she has. She gets the chips in her hand and she throws it back like she's taking a shot. And one comment reads, she's eating chips like she's taking a damn vitamin and it's taking me out. Yeah. But I guess one could argue, I mean, at least her kids are being fed, right? I guess. The next thing CPS looks for are appropriate sleeping arrangements. This is a big one. Infants need safe cribs, free of blankets and toys. Opposite children over 6 years old should typically have separate rooms. And bunk beds must have safety railings for younger children. When Ash is doing a live stream, she's showing off her apartment. She does a quick peek into her daughter's room. They share a room, 16 and 13. And netizens are very quick to point out, Wait, is that a singular air mattress on the floor for both the girls to sleep in? Just a singular air mattress in the room for both of her daughters to share.
No covers, not a pillow. I don't have no pillows. But like, what the dog? You got $800 to spend on groceries and Takis and Cheetos. You can't buy that is crazy.
When netizens start pointing that out, Ashley states that they're not staying with her, implying it's fine because they're only here once in a while. They're staying with her parents. And again, not being able to afford proper furniture for children is not something that parents should be ashamed of. It's very difficult to provide the necessities these days.
But she's spending $800 on dumb shit. fucking provide for your kids.
days. But Ashley should be ashamed. She gives her daughters an air mattress, not because of her lack of funds. It is her gross misappropriation of those funds. It's estimated that on her live streams and gifts donations alone, she brings in around $1,000 to $2,000 in a singular day. $1,000 to $2,000
Wow.
a day. She says the most she's ever brought in 2.5 hours was $12,000. She's constantly on TikTok lives doing these hauls. She shows off her new shoes. She's unboxing it. They're slippers. They're house.
Okay, I just want to clarify. In this situation, there's no reason you're not providing for your kids how you should. How they're not good. They don't have their own bed, eating right. It doesn't make sense, bro. If I'm being honest with you.
Slippers. And she says, these are not Temu. Trust me, I wish they were. And she opens up her Balenciaga slipper box and she's aggressively showing the Balenciaga tag to the camera.
All my name brand stuff is actually name brand.
Even when she does a makeup haul, she's insufferable. She says, I only spent $395 at Ulta. I was just putting things in the bag. I wasn't even looking at the prices. I literally thought that I was gonna spend $1,000, but no, I only spent like $400. She says things like, $3,000 is like dirt to me because I don't need it. It's trash, but if y'all need it, I'll throw it to you. She gets herself the newest iPhone in pink because
It's like Big Tay instead of Lil Tay. This big.
of course, Miss Ashley Trevino is a pretty little princess. She goes to purchase a Louis Vuitton purse, and I'm not entirely sure why she chooses this purse, but it's quite literally a carry-on bag. She just buys a giant-sized duffel bag, but uses it as a purse. She just always has it like on the
To be fair, if she got a normal size purse, we already know it's gonna look crazy.
crook of her elbow.
I'm cooking her.
And
I'm
she just
sorry.
starts carrying around a Louis Vuitton travel bag to the point where it has sparked a trend on TikTok where people say, I'm Ash Trevino and I'm showing you my outfit for the day. And they're hooking on literal suitcases to the crook of their elbows because it's just the most...
Is it like a tote bag or
No, it's a duffel with the two short handles.
no.
Yeah, the Louis Vuitton duffels.
actual duffel bag?
Yes, an actual duffel bag. It's like the
Kinda
size
fire.
of her.
I respect it. I'm not gonna lie.
She
That's kinda,
said
that's,
she
that's
paid
player.
$3,000. I guess she paid that much to look ridiculous. There's also a clip of her where she's seen out shopping and she has this little Louis Vuitton bag. And it's not a purse, it's the actual shopping bag, indicating that she just
Why is she holding it up like that?
got out of the store. And when she sees somebody recording her, she places it straight in front of her and starts swinging it around.
Corny.
It is the strangest thing. She says, I kid you not, I already bought 2 Louis purses over $6,000 within a month, couple weeks. Sunglasses from Louis, my apartment. I'm telling you, it's good money. She's talking about TikTok lives. She brags about spending $327 at the
Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Name brands are dead, to be honest with you. Like, nothing. Yeah, I'm not gonna say nothing.
Cheesecake Factory for 2 people, which I will be real with you. The Cheesecake Factory is not cheap, but it's also not that expensive. That is crazy. But
I would rather have a body that I worked for that is fucking 10% body fat or lower, bro, muscular, built and healthy, than have anything that's worth $3,000, $8,000, $2,000 on my body when I'm unhealthy, looking like don't flex that, bro. How about I flex my heart rate on you? That's a whole nother question or a whole nother conversation.
she can't afford beds for her kids. Her explanation to netizens, and I don't know if she's going to have a chance to explain this to CPS workers or if they're even going to ask, but I digress. She explained.
For sure, but now that I know that they fixed up their room, you see the LED lights? They fixed up their room. They brought their cajones back from my mom's house because they had their vanity stuff over there. They brought everything back. So now I'm going to buy them a bed for Christmas. But I'm going to get it before Christmas. But
I'm gonna buy them a bed for Christmas. So you can buy yourself Louis bags and all this extra shit, but you can't your daughters a Christmas gift. You're giving them a bare necessity, which is a fucking mattress. Oh my God, this lady.
I don't know if I
Oh,
should get young beds because they're older or if I should get them one bed to share.
That's crazy.
Yeah. She says, additionally, this excuse is
Disgusting,
brought
bro.
up that she's just not sure which bed to get them, and that's the reason that she's stalling from purchasing a bed. But she continues to spend so much money. She spends, I would assume, thousands of dollars every single week on DoorDash, Ubers, and Airbnbs, as well as alcohol.
Jeez.
Like she's living at different Airbnbs?
Yes, she just loves to go to different Airbnbs and just party with 19-year-olds that she meets on TikTok. This is a 36-year-old woman. This is oddly infuriating, but it's not just material goods that she's purchasing. At one point, Ashley leaves her kids at home to go to Disneyland. She lives in Texas, so she flies to Disney, which Disney adults, great, do your thing. But also, if you have children and you love Disney, I can't imagine not wanting to experience it with them. When netizens call her out on this, like, this is so weird. You've got 2 girls and you go to Disney by yourself?
I didn't take them to Disney. I've said this before. If you were not on that live, I'm sorry you weren't there. But I did not take them to Disney because my kids do not fly.
What do you
What the
mean when she said that they don't fly?
They don't like to get on an airplane, which is not true. Her kids have TikTok accounts, and one of them debunked her, literally saying, I don't know why she said that. Like, I fly. Like, I'm not scared of airplanes. This is so weird. And also, if the reason that she doesn't take them is because of school, why doesn't she just take them when they're on break? It's not like she has to go Monday through Wednesday. She could go on the weekend or during spring break. But the bragging never ends. Ash Trevino even casually brags about getting a BMW. She just is in a BMW one day. She's sitting there eating In-N-Out live streaming, and she's showing her face.
Yeesh.
So she's sitting in the driver's seat eating In-N-Out, and she goes, y'all, I'm eating In-N-Out. And then she takes time to reverse the camera to show the steering wheel, and she said, okay, I got a BMW and it suits me. Sunroof, and it's nice. Like, it has an LED light over here and over here on the dash as well.
Did she buy a BMW or is she?
So clearly she can afford a bed. She also makes fun of her friends for flying Spirit while she flies first class. It is expected by CPS that parents provide a safe environment for their children. Interactions between family members are evaluated to identify nurturing relationships or potential signs of emotional or physical abuse. In another live stream, Ashley is on live while she's on the phone with her daughter. She asks her daughter, do you want lip fillers? Which her daughters, even if they were of age, they're 13 and 16, I wouldn't feel comfortable with my mom asking me that. I would feel pretty insecure.
Do you want lip filler?
No, my lips are actually big.
They're not that big, baby.
Okay, but they're big enough for me.
They're not that big.
Yeah, get her out of here, bro. Disgusting.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Why are you being a hater?
Let me see.
Like, you're the mother, bro. That's your daughter. You know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing an insecure, disgusting, overweight individual, and she's taking out her insecurities on her daughter, bro. That's what I'm seeing right here.
They look like the same size as yours.
No, they don't.
Mom, yes, they do.
And no, they don't.
She's FaceTiming her daughter and smirking on the camera at her own daughter's lips, and she's scoffing. In a separate live stream, she's on FaceTime again with her daughter, and her daughter says, my nose is so perfect. This is a little taken out of context, and I'll explain, but it has gone viral.
Yeah, my nose is so perfect.
No, your nose is not perfect.
Your nose ain't either.
Bye.
Now, to be fair, this is because her daughter did get a nose piercing, and this is the FaceTime where she reveals it to her mom. So she does have some right, I guess, to be angry, but not really, because she's not mothering them well anyway, regardless. But netizens don't think that makes this any better. This is the same woman that on live stream, she called her own 2 daughters slurs while laughing.
Such as?
Slurs targeted towards the Mexican community. In another clip, she's talking to her kids and they're arguing. I have an A+ in every class. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you're not. You're not. You're probably barely gonna pass anyway, literally. To which comments read, who needs enemies when you have a mom like Ash Trevino? But it's not even just the emotional abuse, because there are so many different pillars on how you take care of children. You can't even just physically.
It would be different if she's like trying, like, you know, like some parents, they don't have a lot, you know what I mean? They don't have a lot to give, but they're trying their best. You know what I mean? They're being supportive, they're trying their best, they're making ends meet, but they're doing 100% what they can. And even if that 100% is only like 20% of what another person could do, it's still 100% of what they can do. You know what I mean?
Physically provide the necessities. You have to emotionally be there and physically be there for them. Her younger daughter, E, has to go to the hospital one day. They already made it back home. She's on live stream. And Ashley, instead of taking her, jumps on another TikTok live and says, guys, this is my sickly baby. That's the one that I have to go take to the hospital and go get tested in a couple weeks. I'm not going to explain nothing else because she doesn't want me to. Mere minutes later, I don't even think 10 minutes have passed. She says, if y'all want me to tell you about my baby girl's health, go ahead and send the galaxies.
What the f?
Being $15 donations on TikTok because there's tiers to the donations.
If y'all want me to tell y'all about my baby girl's health, go ahead and send the galaxies.
She's willing to sell her daughter's medical history for the highest bidder. In another moment, that
$15 is crazy. Yo,
might end up in a CPS file somewhere. Ashley's live streaming. She's walking into her room dancing to her song called Nunu. We're gonna get into that.
Oh no.
One of her daughters is throwing up in the hallway. She tells her mom, I just threw up.
Mom, I just threw up.
You just threw up? Why?
I just threw up.
You're lying.
Let me throw.
She turns around and keeps dancing.
Mom, I threw up. Why are you dancing? You dancing? Yes. Alexa, stop.
Bro, I was jamming to Nunu.
Netizens are commenting, the fact that her first instinct is to accuse her of lying? She treats her daughters like they're just roommates in their own home, like there's no relationship between them. For Thanksgiving, for example, Ashley drives her kids. The netizens are compiling on Reddit all the things that they want to send to CPS. They're like mass reporting her to CPS. For Thanksgiving, Ashley drives her kids 8 hours to El Paso, Texas, where she's going to stay with who she calls her tia.
I'm not gonna lie. Usually, like when it comes to kid stuff, I just try to shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Because I don't have any kids. I don't know what it's like being a mother or a father. But when it's this blatant, bro, when it's this bad, it's hard not to speak on it.
Tia,
you know what I
auntie
mean?
in Spanish. But this is not Ashley's auntie. This is not the kid's tia. This is a random person that Ashley has met on the internet that she calls auntie. She's not been invited to her own parents' Thanksgiving, so she's going to a random person that she met online to her home, bringing her kids all the way to El Paso, Texas on Thanksgiving, leaving them sick and alone in the Airbnb. She's like, go order DoorDash for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna go get drunk at the bars. And she's live streaming all of this.
Oh,
Wait, I'm so sorry.
My
it's
God.
Thanksgiving. You're
Yeah.
going to the stranger's house.
Yeah, and then so she rented an Airbnb in El Paso, Texas, and she goes to El Paso to meet up with her auntie that is a stranger that she meets online. She brings her kids, throws them into the Airbnb, and is like, here, order DoorDash because I'm about to go out with the auntie that I met on TikTok and a bunch of her friends.
Oh.
On Thanksgiving, she's like, just order whatever you want. But it's already not a good look, but it gets worse. While she's posting in El Paso, because she does not understand that live streaming does not mean that you have to stream the entirety of your life, she starts posting about being in El Paso. Another creator on TikTok sees this and posts a TikTok where she is tying her hair up into a messy bun, and she says, when you find out Ashley Trevino is in El Paso, indicating she's trying to fight Ashley Trevino.
Oh.
Ash, a full mother of two, starts mocking the creator on her live stream.
She's like, when you find out Ash Trevino's in El Paso, I'm in El Paso and I'm a your baby daddy. What are you gonna do?
She proceeds to tell the girl, then pull up then, and gives out the very specific bar that she will be visiting later that night. She begs the creator to pull up because the creator is GHETTO and they're in the rich neighborhood and the cops are gonna take care of her. Ashley is live streaming at the bar, and I'm not entirely sure why she looks so surprised when the creator that she has been taunting the entire night does indeed show up to the bar. Since she's pretty much given out her GPS coordinates and everything. She's just sitting there while the other creator is saying, you asked me to pull up, and now you don't want to say anything, you asked me to pull up. The situation escalates to some mediocre hair pulling before everybody is kicked out of the establishment. The other creator goes on live to talk about what happened, and she says, this is me. I was like, so you tell me to pull up? You tell me to pull up?
Oh, wow. These are grown individuals. Oh my God. I'm thinking it was like maybe a 20-year-old, you know what I mean? Like, what are these little 30-year-olds doing? Honestly, like, what the, someone come get their mom, bro. Go get their auntie out here.
And Ash starts getting up. I went and I grabbed her hair. I snatched that. Bro, tell me why her hair feels like fucking grass, bro. I grabbed it and it ripped off. Ash is later live streaming, brushing her hair with her fingers, saying, I don't even have my bobby pin anymore. I think she took it. I really do think she took it like for an autograph or something because I don't have it anymore. You would have thought like a that didn't like me was gonna swing. She would have swung at the okay? This pulls my hair. Like it's the first reaction this does. And I'm like, she pulled my hair. And
Oh
this
my God.
fat as this is really fat. She's saying all of
Okay, so by the way, just to clarify, because I know YouTube comments gonna be like, you shouldn't fat shame. The fat bitch just called another fat bitch fat. Okay, so I think that gives me the right to be like, listen, that's a fat bitch. If it doesn't, then whatever, I'm still gonna say it anyway.
this in the car while the stranger that
Little
she
fat.
met on TikTok, the auntie, is driving. But now, to some extent, this auntie is intoxicated. They were live streaming in the bar where viewers clearly see her drinking. So now the drinking and driving is being live documented. When they get back to the auntie's house, the kids end up coming there, and E, the younger daughter, is not feeling well. She feels sick. She wants to throw up. On top of that, she's likely stressed and freaking out, or at least anxious about the bar fight that Ashley got into, because she tells Ashley, I saw the video of what happened at the bar. Like I was watching the live. And if you're wondering, how do I know all of this? It's because Ashley is still live streaming right now at the auntie's house. And when they're at the Tia's house, when the night is over, the Tia's ex-boyfriend and his new girlfriend come over and a whole fight breaks out. Ashley is live streaming. You can't see too much. The cameraman is not doing their job because they're in the middle of the fight. Eventually, Ashley decides to call the police, but she's still live streaming. She does not turn it off. She does not mute her phone. She goes on to tell the police that they need to hurry and come, and here is the address. She says her
The address on live? Oh my God, this is dumb.
auntie's full residential home address on the live stream. She doxes this auntie's place of residence, but also the place that she brought her children to. The police leave, and the auntie and all of them go back to Ashley's rented Airbnb because they don't feel safe there anymore. Which, side note, this is actually where a viral TikTok clip is formed.
Oh.
Trevino calls her private parts her nunu. And she has this whole song about it. And people have
She got
this
that
running
nunu.
joke that her nunu, her private spots, are quite smelly. They don't smell good. And there's this one clip that's been taken out of
Wait,
context.
why did she call it Nunu?
I have no clue.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's asking her auntie, does it smell? Yeah, does it smell? Does it smell? Does it smell in there? Does it smell? Does it smell? Does it smell? Did it smell? Did it smell? And she's asking her like 10 times while she's on live stream.
Did it smell? Did it smell?
The context
What the?
of this is she was vaping in the bathroom and she didn't want her kids to know that she was vaping in the bathroom. But that doesn't even make sense because they're in a different live. She was caught giving her kids her vape to use.
What?
So I don't know why she's asking if it smelled, if she was insinuating something else and then was trying to cover it up with this whole vape story. But it's become this whole internet meme with a life of its own of, did it smell? Did it smell? Did it smell? No, but did it smell?
Stephanie's so funny. I love Stephanie, bro. She's so into it, bro. I love it. She's the best, dude. Oh my God. I love Stephanie. Yo, if you're watching on the YouTube right now, there's a link of the original video. You got to click on it. Subscribe if you have. There's no way you don't subscribe to Stephanie. But if you don't, if you're like just a viewer of me and you enjoy this type of content, bro, subscribe to her. She's amazing, dude. She's so dope.
So the group of them, they're now back at Ashley's Airbnb and the daughters are there. Ashley is live streaming and she's standing there chowing down on fries. And you just hear the auntie talking to her because a physical fight broke out. To, I don't know the extent, but it seems like to some extent there was domestic violence. This is the auntie's ex-boyfriend that came and a physical altercation took place between him and the auntie. And the auntie, she's dry heaving because it's pretty clear that from the perspective of the live stream, she was harmed physically to some level. She tells Ashley, I don't know how much abuse I told you about, but I never told my daughter about it. It is so ridiculous because Ashley continues chowing down on the fries that someone even comments, and back to the food we go. The El Paso incident, it becomes dubbed that in the Ash Trevino lore, is just this incredibly idiotic and unsafe situation. The drinking and driving, obviously, but also the fact that Ashley is egging a stranger to come and fight her, even though her kids are in town. She doxes her auntie. She confronts the stranger at the bar.
Oh my
I mean, there's
God.
so much going on, and it's just flat out dumb.
It's like a pug if it was a human just running around doing shit. You know what I mean? I get why people watch. It's like a train wreck that you just can't not look away from, you know?
But the most mind-numbing thing, the most mind-numbing part of all of this is this isn't even the first time that somebody pulls up to fight Ashley. She has been through this whole rodeo before. Ashley has started getting herself into altercations with other TikTokers, one of them being a creator by the name of Tampa Bay, who has taken the initiative to create a GoFundMe to support her travel fees to go to Ashley's home to physically assault her and pull up.
What the
which
is
I
going
mind my own
on?
business most of the time. I don't know the first thing about Tampa Bay, but I do know that Ashley should understand that whatever she is doing online is going to come back to her kids. There are creators out there that are wanting to find Ashley's home and confront her.
Okay, but that's not on Ashley. That's not on Ashley. That is definitely on the creator that is trying to literally get a GoFundMe to fight her. You know what I mean? As a grown individual, you should know she has kids and you shouldn't fuck with her. And then Ash, as a grown individual, knowing she has kids, shouldn't be talking online because you're already too old for it. You old. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Her home where her kids often stay, it's a dangerous situation overall. Ashley would even tell Tampa Bay, pull up to my house then.
Oh
Pull up.
my God.
Tampa Bay said she was gonna come in 5 weeks.
I'll be waiting.
Tampa Bay does in fact pull up. Thankfully, the kids are fine. Well, fine in that situation. But Ashley has repeatedly doxed her home address with no regard for her kids' safety. There have been incidents where the girls, the children, have noticed strange cars driving around, scoping out their house, and naturally they get very concerned, they get very anxious, very worried. They call the police. The two daughters and Ashley are home. Ashley is home. The guardian is home. The police arrive. They have to take a report. Ashley lets her two girls talk to the police officer while she stands there, pointing her finger in the air, holding up her phone. She's in the midst of a very intense, cutthroat TikTok battle. This is how she signals donate, donate. So you know TikTok battles, you see
my
the like.
She is unreal. Okay, I can understand, like, if you have kids at a very young age, you know, you were robbed of your childhood, kind of, you know what I mean? And you want to relive that. I get it. Before you get too old, you want to relive. I 100% understand that. But, like, handle what you got to handle, bro. Do what you got to do first. Like, you don't want to be that 42-year-old, 57-year-old still posting on Snapchat. You don't want that shit. But if you had kids at an early age, you kind of want to because you want to reclaim your youth. So I get it. But take care of what you have to, bro. Am I tripping? The cops are there. Donate, guys, donate. Come on, she's gonna win. She's gonna win. Donate, huh? The cops? Hold on 1 second. Donate. Guys, donate Galaxy. Donate Galaxy. Like, what the
Fine.
f*** are you
Go up
doing?
and you're trying to get donations to beat the other creator. You have to keep doing some tapping motion to indicate like donate, donate, donate. This is her favorite thing, to tap in the air. And that means donate to me, donate to me. And she's tapping. I mean, nothing, not even her safety, her children's safety is going to get in the way of her getting those freaking Galaxies. She goes out to the front to get a view of the cop car. She's showing this in the back, the officer, and she's whispering, double it, double it, double it, double it, double it, double it. Come on, double it, double it, double it.
Yikes.
Is she whispering or?
Yeah, but I'm sure the officer can hear her.
Yikes.
Yeah. In another clip, she tells the live that her daughter has a burn. And
Honestly, I kind of admire it. I admire it. Like, wow, you are really dedicated. But like, bitch, your kids. Come on.
she asks, what can I put on their burn? She's on the phone with her friend who says, I really think you should take your daughter to urgent care if it's bad. Can you send me a picture of it? Ugh, then I'm gonna have to get a freaking Uber. Okay, just because you have to get an Uber doesn't mean you shouldn't take her to the freaking urgent care. I know, but I have to get up early tomorrow. So now she is physically neglecting her children as well. But it does get worse. When one is watching an Ash Trevino live stream, there's always one thing that gets brought up, used, seen, just peeking from the side somewhere like a little stalker, and it's her adult device, specifically one that is shaped like a rose. I'm just going to call it the
rose toy?
the haunted rose. And when she is confronted with
Oh,
the fact that
no.
she just has him laying it around in a home where she has a 13 and 16-year-old daughter, I mean, why? Why not put it in a drawer like a normal person? She's asked on live.
I was helping my grandma move. She had one in this big ass dresser I was helping. I tried to lift up the drawer. The drawer slid out because I didn't tape the drawers, and it was just there. It was just there flopping. And I was so young, I picked it up and said, let's play Lifesavers. Come on, Grammys.
Why do people support you when
just
you
kidding.
have toys in front of your minor kids? And she screams, do they f***ing use them? They still touch them, asking, what should we name these? So to give you some context, there was an incident that this creator is referring to from a separate live stream. Ashley is She's charging the haunted rose. And I guess one of her kids spots it and is like, what is this that's charging?
Ew, why is that thing charging?
Can you leave my rose alone? Bro, leave my rose alone. She needs me in a little bit.
And the daughter asks, what's her name? Who? The rose? What's her name? Oh, I haven't named her yet. What should we name her? We should name her H. She says her name. Her own name. The daughter says her own name. Because she's 16. She doesn't know what's going on. And the mom says, ew, I don't want to name her that. Ashley just has this strange belief that is so untethered from reality that if she says something during a live stream, it just goes floating into the ether. It can never be used against her. She admits to her viewers on live that she used to have this crazy animosity towards her eldest daughter. She says she didn't even like the fact that her children's father always paid more attention to their daughter than to her.
That is wild.
Because it's a little child that needs a lot of attention and care to fully develop into a functioning human being, and that is the responsibility of both parents. But to Ashley, this is rather unacceptable. One of the 7 deadly sins, if you ask her. She claims that she would get so upset that she would grab her daughter H by the hair and yank her to the ground. And she's saying all of this proudly.
She literally has been through, like, the bottom of her life. Like,
This is nasty, bro.
I'm telling you, whenever we lived with her dad, I used to pull her by the hair because I was so mad at her. Like, I feel like he loved her more than he loved me. And so, like, I took my anger out on her.
Do you know what people would give to have a father of their kids to actually love their kids? Do you understand that? That is crazy. And for you to be jealous of that? Oh my God.
And she doesn't even, like, hate me for that. Like, she doesn't even remember that.
Yeah, she probably got CTE. You biggest football player tossing around a little kid. No shit.
Netizens are threatening, if not already dialing CPS on Ashley for that clip alone. They're commenting about how crazy this is that she's jealous of her own child. Ashley decides to then further address the situation on a separate live stream, clarifying. By the way, she's doing her makeup while clarifying this very serious allegation, and the beauty blender she is using is the biggest makeup sponge I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. It's the size of a dish sponge. But that's neither here nor there. She continues, she states, was I hit as a kid? Yes. I was always hit as a kid. That's why I wouldn't hit my kids. I never abused my daughter, you guys. What I said was I would get mad at her. Yes, I would. I pulled her.
She's rage baiting? You think she's rage baiting? Chat, apparently someone in chat saying that she's rage baiting, and I'm surprised you're falling for it. There's no way she's rage baiting. There's 0 chance she's rage baiting, bro. Maybe she'll rage bait 10% of the time, maybe. But there is no way, bro. There is no way, bro.
Her hair, yeah, but I never abused her. I never hit my kids, you guys. That's one thing y'all need to understand. The only reason that I pulled her hair was because she ran from me and I tried to grab her, and instead I grabbed her hair. I never abused my kids. I never hit my kids. If you ask my kids if I hit them, I don't hit them. That's why they don't listen to me. And this was when she was little. This was a long time ago. I don't care. Y'all can sit there and call me an abuser, call me what you want, but at the end of the day, my kids know I never abuse them. They never have bruises on them. If anything, I bribe my kids with money. But then on a separate live stream, she'll also admit that she almost went to jail. She says, how did the glass break? So I'm implying, I'm deducing that there was some broken glass and everybody was asking her about it. She said, I threw the glass. I broke my phone too. My phone's broke right now. 2 days ago, me and my daughter got into it and she threw a chair at me and my leg is bruised. She put her hands on me and I already told her, stop putting your hands on me, bro. This is not the first time she's done that. We can somewhat decipher that she threw her phone and some sort of glass object. And she does even more alarming stuff. These are all the things that people are trying to report to CPS. Ashley is on the phone with a romantic interest of hers. He's on speakerphone and Ashley has her daughter right next to her. The guy asks her,
hey, can I ask you a question? Can I take you to my crib?
Sure, go ahead. Just don't take advantage of my daughter.
Wait, what you said?
Just don't make me a grandma.
What?
yeah, exactly.
What?
It just reminds me very much of Jennifer Soto.
Yeah.
Why are you even saying that?
Why are you even joking? That's your kid, bro. What are we doing, chat?
Why are you bringing up Woody Allen right now?
Yeah.
Later on a live stream, she says, it's like one of my kids. She meets a guy. She likes him. Hypothetically, this is what she's saying hypothetically. She wants to do something. The guy asks her, how old are you? She says, I'm 18. I'm 17. She's 15 at this point. Guy believes it And then I find out, honestly, if I find out my daughter's doing something, I'm not going to sit there and call the cops. I was her age once. I was doing it, so. But the alarming stuff comes in by the types of people that she decides to surround herself and indirectly put in her daughter's paths. She goes on a live stream to talk about writing to Chris Watts, the infamous killer who killed his wife and his 2 kids. Her friend tells her that he's evil, that he killed his wife and kids. And Ashley responds, well, maybe he killed his wife because he's not happy.
Here we go.
Oh no.
And said that the episode on Chris Watts on some sort of crime show made her fall asleep.
What does that imply? Like,
It's just rude. What do you mean? 3 people lost their lives and you're falling asleep on the couch? Just turn it off.
Bro.
Why are you saying this? What's happening right now? Do you know what an inmate hopper is? It's someone who likes to date inmates and will jump from one inmate to another. Typically, I would imagine they themselves are not an inmate, so they're, instead of on Hinge, they're exclusively finding romantic partners on writeaprisoner.com. And Ashley Trevino gets known on TikTok for being an inmate hopper. But it really all starts with this very awkward moment when she live streams herself picking up her boyfriend of 9 months from jail while he's being released.
wait, is this the one that happened?
No, that was a separate person who likes to sleep with inmates when they get out, or she slept with one inmate and it was connected to Wade Wilson because she was like, Wade Wilson, hi, and then we covered. Yeah, it's like a thing. It's a thing, yes.
Like a little fetish or something?
Brings him to this hotel room. There's a giant heart on the hotel bed made out of roses. She has a whole snack basket picked out for him, and he's just walking in, and the whole live stream is uncomfortably awkward. He's ignoring her. He doesn't seem excited to be there. He doesn't even look excited to be a free man. It almost appears
He in a prison cell right now.
by some netizens' perspectives that the prospect of him getting into bed with Ashley Trevino, he'd rather go back into his cell. And the energy, the visuals are just off, and people are commenting. I remember when my ex came out of jail, he literally could not stop touching me nonstop. He would not stop holding me. He would not stop paying attention to me. Jesse showed no interest in her. This is so sad. It is pretty clear that Jesse...
I mean, a lot of dudes be using you for commissary and shit. You know what I mean? Put money on my books, put money on my books. They work on their handwriting and artistic skills so they could write nice, lovely letters for you. You know what I mean? If you ever saw like a prison letter, like if you talking to someone in prison, right? They got some nice handwriting, some cute little hearts and roses and a whole lot of bro. It's crazy. They don't play. They put in work because that's that money, bro. That's how they make that money, bro.
He was likely using her for commissary funds when he was in prison. Even when they live stream together.
Like, yeah, think about it. That's all they do in there, dude. You know what I mean? Like, what else are you gonna do? Work out? You ain't doing shit else.
Looks like he wants to keep a safe 6 feet social distancing space between them. But before you even feel a tiny modest sympathy for Ashley, she also gets upset when Jesse wants to see his own children because she doesn't want his child's mother in his life. Within 3 days of Jesse being out, she's calling him her husband. People are confronting her about the fact that he has his child's mother's face tattooed on him, and they tell her, hey, are you not upset? They're just trying to start drama. Okay, they're egging her on the net.
Chat, dude. Holy, my fault.
His child's mother's face tattooed on him, and they tell her, hey, are you not upset? They're just trying to start drama. Okay, they're egging her on the netizens. They're like, are you not upset? You don't want your face tattooed on Jesse? And she gets very defensive. I'm good. I don't need a tattoo to symbolize what I am to my husband. As long as I know where I stand with my husband, we're fine. But she gets his TikTok handle tattooed on her. Not even his name, the TikTok handle. Like, at Rotten Mango, imagine you tattooing that.
Wait, she tattooed it on her body?
Yes, his TikTok handle.
What?
The relationship lasts somewhere in the ballpark of 8 business days before Ashley is on live stream ranting, clapping her hands as if we are the ones to blame for this. She says, and that's what irritates me. Y'all think you know him? Y'all don't, bro. I was with him for 9 months, holding him down, and he's talked so much crap about me. The tears that I have to hold back when I see him. Look, he's requesting again to be in my live stream. He's requesting again. Jesse is not not a nice person. Jesse is a really mean, ugly person. Y'all don't know what I've had to endure the last 2 weeks, okay? I'm not wanting to bash him. He's not a nice person. Jesse let all these females make him feel like he was just the luckiest man out there. He was just using me for clout because without Ashley, Jesse is not nothing. Without Ashley, there is no Jesse. I made Jesse. She's 36. Later in a video, she responds,
I love Stephanie, dude. She's the best, bro. She's so into it. Her storytelling's the best.
why did you guys break up? So she's like reading the comments. Why did you guys break up? Because of social media. A lot of females were in his inbox. I just didn't have the trust. I would tell him I wish he was back in prison because I trusted him in prison because nobody knew who he was. Nobody was writing to him. He wasn't calling them. You know, when he came out, I let him have social media. I gave him a little cheat phone. I told him, make a TikTok. I said, make a TikTok, babe. And that was my biggest mistake, was to let him get involved in the social media life.
How many followers does she have?
It's hard to say because she keeps getting her accounts deleted.
Really?
Yeah, I think she's like on her 6th account.
God damn.
Because of like,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, because she'll
people
just
report her and
yeah, and then she'll just completely flash her entire bare chest on a live stream on TikTok. There
Like putting in a Ziploc bag.
are also some very strange moments in this whole relationship saga with Jesse. Ashley goes on live where her daughters are her moderators. I don't know if they were her moderators for every single live, but the fact that they are her moderators and they have frequently said like, Mom, don't do this. Mom, don't say this. They'll come into the room sometimes while she's live streaming to say, stop doing this. So it's pretty clear that they know what she's doing on live. They're watching. She states, to be honest, you guys, it's just going to give Jesse more clout. Just kidding. He has an 8-inch.
I mean, the first day we did it like, what, 5 or 6 times? If I can remember, maybe a little bit more the first day. The first weekend was pretty wild. I literally could feel him like up here. And I would tell him like, it hurts. Like,
She goes into graphic detail describing the width, I guess. In a separate live, she's asked, was there passion? To be honest, yeah. It's crazy though, because for like 2 weeks, it was still good after the second week. The first day we did it like 5 or 6 times. I can't even remember. Maybe a little more. The first day, the first weekend was pretty wild. I would tell him like, it hurts everywhere, everything. And then she would just nod, licking her lips. And every single time we didn't use protection and he never pulled out. Meanwhile, Jesse is on a separate live stream where he claims that he had to put a blanket to cover Ashley Trevino's entire body and
Oh my God. Oh, I love this video.
face because he could not get excited for activities without that.
you're kidding me.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
That's crazy.
Did you like put like a bag over her head when you guys,
Okay, so I put the blanket. I put the blanket all over her. I just wanted to see that. If I seen anything else, it wasn't gonna work out. You know what I'm saying?
The top comments are, mind you, this is my phone. Mind you, I just woke up. Soon after their breakup, Ashley starts hinting at the fact that she might be pregnant. And hinting is a severe understatement.
no.
She might as well have tattooed it on her. Potentially pregnant. She tells her viewers,
I was ovulating the day after the day he came home. We can all be your baby daddy. You want to be my baby daddy? No, I already told Jesse that if I'm pregnant, I told him on the way to Irving. I said, on the way to Irving, I told him, I said, look, if I'm pregnant, because I told him, I said, I start my period in 3 days. And he's like, what are you telling me? I said, I'm just saying, I start my period in 3 days. And he's like, what are you telling me, Ashley? And I was like, no, I'm just saying, like, just
I don't like how she talked with her bottom teeth.
in case, something happens and I'm pregnant, I don't need you to be there for me. I said, I can raise this baby on my own. I've raised 2 of them on my own. I don't need you to be here to raise my baby.
people were so confused by this. People start putting the dates together, and Ashley's digital footprint has likely accelerated climate change by at least 24 months. She is live streaming every single waking moment of her day, which is not a great thing to do if you don't want to get caught in your own lies. People are running through the timelines to point out, wait, if she was pregnant, then she had her period on this date, then she would have known that she was pregnant if she missed her period. But those days that she would have known that she was pregnant or potentially pregnant, she was just drinking and live streaming all the time. When she's confronted with this, netizens are very upset because that's a very serious thing to do, is drink while potentially pregnant. And she says she's drinking because she's not 1,000% confident that she's pregnant. Oh. When you can just take a pregnancy test. She says that she merely has a suspicion that she's pregnant, but she didn't take a test yet. It is the very accurate, very true intellectual theory that if you don't know, it does not exist. She says, once I find out for sure that I'm pregnant, I'm not drinking. I am off of it for 9 months. But she's also very upset that her viewers care about her drinking alcohol and potentially being pregnant. She says,
I'm not going to answer yes or no if I'm pregnant. That's not what I'm going to do. You're going to have to wait. Y'all are not anybody important to me. So for me to just sit here and say, no, I'm not pregnant. Yes,
I don't look like a BMW. Did she return it? What happened?
I'm pregnant. Y'all are not important to me. I don't even know you.
very quickly, the newfound pregnancy becomes Ashley's entire personality. She streams, y'all, I have never been so scared to bring a baby into this world. Because when I brought them to, I was with their dad. Me and their dad were married each time. They were planned. This one was planned too, but I'm not with Jesse no more.
Oh my God, imagine, I know the baby's scared. The baby more scared. It's gonna be time for it to be born. It's gonna be like, no. Get your hands off me, doctor. No, I'm not coming out.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
Wait, is she pregnant or?
We don't know.
She's just like crying about it.
Yeah. In another live stream, though, she complains.
Today, my back has been killing the out of me. Like, I totally said, girl, I feel like I'm about to start my period. And I just got off my period.
And everyone's like, how would you just get off your period if you're potentially pregnant? Eventually, the story becomes too ridiculous to sell. I mean, at some point, even the trees in your backyard are going to start putting two and two together, like none of this is making any sense. And ultimately, she addresses the pregnancy situation by saying, were you ever pregnant? Yes, unfortunately, I was. But the stress gets to you. So unfortunately, I was. And I was very sad, but I was happy at the same time. Hinting at the fact that she suffered from a miscarriage from the stress. The comments read, she reminds me of one of those high school girls that would say that they're pregnant for attention and then end up, quote, losing the baby. But later on, Jesse explains in a live stream that Ashley terminated the pregnancy, or at least that's what he thought, that she did not suffer from a miscarriage. To which Ashley responds on live,
nobody was supposed to know that I had an abortion. And he literally just told everybody that I had an abortion. But I had an abortion because I didn't want to have his baby. Hey, Daddy.
I absolutely believe in my freedom of choice as a woman, but I think the difference between having it be a choice versus having a miscarriage are completely separate things, especially in this situation. She originally claimed that she lost her baby due to stress, and that is not a choice. Netizens were obviously...
Like, you're gonna sympathize with it because that's f***ed up, bro. Losing a kid, that's f***ed up. That hurts people for years, man. That's trauma right there.
Sympathizing with her after that. And even had she said, I made the choice to do this because I don't think I'm going to be a fit parent to a newborn right now. I mean, I guess it depends on everybody's beliefs, but I think that's perfectly normal. But netizens were obviously sympathizing with her, donating so much more to her because they thought that she had suffered this very traumatic thing that a lot of netizens can relate to. But it was a lie. In another clip, she says,
he's just mad because I aborted our baby. I never wanted to have his kid anyways.
I'm literally glad I got rid of our baby. I didn't want nothing from you.
What makes this even worse is the fact that in a separate live stream, this is when she was telling the whole world and everybody's mother that she might be pregnant. She says, if I'm pregnant, I'm keeping the baby. I already told my kids. I told them, there's a possibility. So she's getting her minor children emotionally and potentially just mentally involved in this. Mm-hmm. With Jesse's relationship with Ash Trevino, that's where she really starts gaining a lot of TikTok fame. But people find out this is not her first relationship with an inmate. Oh, no. In fact, there was a previous one that she documented heavily through Instagram by the name of Isaiah Gonzalez. This was her previous husband that was in prison.
What is he in prison for? Because it don't look like it's for killing or something. This is a red flag.
Introduced her children to them. Brought her two very young daughters. At this point, the eldest was about 10 years old. When she brings them to prison to meet this prisoner that she has now decided to marry.
The kids.
How do we know about this?
She has documented it all over Instagram and then slowly starts talking about it on live. So through her Instagram, we find out that she's posting pictures of the girls visiting Isaiah Gonzalez. And she writes, we had a great visit today and so blessed that both of our girls were able to go see daddy. This is the part that is so sick and twisted. This is not the girl's biological father, but she almost convinces them, or maybe she's telling them to call him daddy, or is convincing them that this is their new daddy. I don't know. She writes, "You can see the happiness on his face. Our first family picture, only one more glass visit until he gets to hug us all." Which I'm not sure you should be taking your children to prison to hug random inmates.
Yeah.
But she even introduces Isaiah as the youngest's daddy to the world. She keeps doing this. She's saying, like, this is E's daddy. But he's not. He's not biologically her dad. He's not her dad anything.
Creepy.
She posts more pictures of them meeting in prison. They're holding up hand hearts. She's hashtagging it going Gonzalez because she's trying to marry him and his last name is Gonzalez. And like, ma'am, this is not a reality show. She'll hashtag love on lockdown. My heart is in Iowa Park, which is where his prison is located. But should her heart not be at home with her own 2 children? She posts another one where Isaiah is holding E, her youngest daughter, in his arms. During visitation. She captions it, "Today we had the best visit with my husband and her daddy. It's always hard leaving him behind." Again, this is not E's biological father, let alone her daddy, her dad. This is just some random inmate. "Love all the time we get with him, and his smile says it all. Just a daddy and his baby girl. It's sad when she runs back for one more hug before we leave, but their bond is unbreakable." I do want to preface this by saying, I think with the way America likes to incarcerate people for just pretty much everything. There are people in prison for possessing weed. There are people in jail for allegedly being involved in an incident involving the United Healthcare CEO. There are a lot of reasons that people are incarcerated that a lot of people might not necessarily think they should be incarcerated
Here it
for.
comes, bro. I know it's gonna be
I think
something
that for a lot
crazy.
of inmates, having a strong support system outside of prison waiting for them when they get out, it does help rehabilitate them. Again, I'm talking for drug possession charges, things of that nature, health insurance fraud related charges involving massive healthcare companies, things of that nature. I think it's important for these people to have support, and I have a lot of respect for their partners and families that give them that while they're still being part of society and having to deal with the stigma of having a loved one in prison.
Right.
However, finding inmates to date because you like the idea of being a prison wife is beyond my level of comprehension. Ashley posts on Instagram, August of 2019. She posts 2 pictures captioning, "Life had us in different paths, but just know he makes me happy and he asked me to marry him and I said yes. I am future Mrs. Gonzalez." She goes on this whole rant. "For those of y'all that know, y'all know, LOL. And for those of who don't know, now y'all do. People are going to judge us, but like we say, screw what y'all think. I have been here for him and
was
plan
he
to
locked up
continue
for?
that throughout his entire journey that God has given us. Yes, he is away from me, but these years will go by so fast and I can't wait to become Mrs. Gonzalez. If y'all don't like us being together, then feel free to delete me, but he wanted me to let everybody know that he is mine and I am his. And for those of y'all that don't know, he asked me to marry him and got the blessings we needed to move forward with that. By the way, don't let those hate letters think it's gonna stop us." Soon being a prison wife becomes her whole DNA profile. She posts, "I'm a prison wife. My relationship is based on letters, time-restricted phone calls and visits that are few and far between. I'm judged for staying with a man that I could never imagine leaving. I go to bed alone every night and hold it down on the outside while he comes home. I never know when he'll be involved in a riot or moved far away from me. Despite all of this, he is worth the wait."
Yikes.
So do we know what was his...
We're about to get there.
Okay, that's good. Yo, Miss Panda asking the questions. That's what I'm waiting for. I want to know.
Yeah. She shows off sending 120 pictures, which I can only imagine they're X-rated pictures. She likes to say things like, "Being a prison wife is expensive," and I'm realizing that now because not only do I have my own bills, I still help him. He doesn't ask me for money though. It's just one thing that if I do, it's because I want to. I feel like it's my responsibility as a prison wife. Which, side note, a lot of inmates have stated that when it comes to picking a pen pal, if they have a choice, they do not go for the girls that are aesthetically conventionally the most attractive. They will go for the ones that they believe are the most desperate, the one that is craving a compliment, dying for attention, because that is who is going to put money in their commissary.
Yeah, we just had this conversation, bro. It's a real thing. It is a real thing in prison, bro. I'm not with you when I say
it's like
this.
a job. You want minimum effort, maximum financial reward. They sit there, write letters. It takes time, but the inmates have time and they get taken care of through financial ways.
I don't think Ash Trevino will agree with this sentiment.
Yeah, she might think that she is the love of their life, the apple to their eyes, They're all peas in a pod.
It's kind of sad when you think about it, but also it's like it could go both ways, right? The girl's trying to prey on the dude that can't leave, can't do anything. It's the only way she could keep him in because she knows that he can't cheat because he's locked away. You know what I mean? As soon as he gets out, that motherfucker running the streets like that bitch doesn't exist. You know what I mean? And also the dude is taking advantage of the girl. It goes both ways, bro. It's a transaction over here.
And if you send pictures, like Ash Trevino has sent 120 plus pictures in one go to be exact,
Yeesh.
they will 99% of the time
How many angles?
pass around those pictures. It is said that they have no respect for any of these. I mean, maybe if an inmate was with their partner before going to jail, they perhaps don't want to share those pictures, but they will pass around pictures.
Rotten mango.
But Ashley is in love. She posts wedding pictures with Isaiah Gonzalez, which are just pictures by herself, holding his picture because he's incarcerated. They're not going to let him out and take furlough to take wedding pics. So it's just her in the middle of the road, a literal road, wearing a black dress and a white flower crown, writing, "There is going to be a long road ahead of us in this journey, but with God, we will get through it. Right here in these pics, I'm walking that road alone."
What the?
Hence, she's on the road. And to give her some credit, the road is empty. "I'm walking that road alone, but even though he wasn't there physically, he's still here with me in this pic. This life isn't for everyone, but it is for me. Hashtag Mrs. Gonzalez. Hashtag my life is behind those walls." This is where things start to escalate. On a live stream, Ashley is telling the story of how she first met Isaiah because people start bringing it up. They're like, okay, so Jesse was not your first prison boyfriend, your first inmate boyfriend. So who is Isaiah that we found on your Instagram? And she says, well, everyone's wondering why this has happened. Oh, by the way, it is speculated that for all of her prison boyfriends, she's met some of them through Write a Prisoner, websites where you can see pictures of prisoners and decide if you want to be their pen pal or not. But those who know how the prison system works, they speculate that she is pretty well known in certain prisons, that she will talk to an inmate, they will recommend her to other fellow inmates. They'll say, hey, talk to this girl because she's going to put some money in your commissary.
Yo.
And she, for the lack of better phrasing, gets passed around. As in her number and contact information gets passed around to other inmates. But with
so
Isaiah,
sad.
she says, I actually knew him before he went to prison. She says, my prison life started in 2019. I reconnected with an old childhood friend, okay? She says okay a lot. She also says just kidding a lot, when she's definitely not just kidding.
So, my prison life started in 2019. I reconnected with an old childhood friend, okay? Yes, I am 6 years older than this man. He is still currently serving time in TDC. So we reconnected back in March of 2019. We wrote snail mail letters up until August 2019. Then I set the phone up for this man. On our first phone call, he asked me to marry him. I liked him, so I said yes, and I've known him for years. So
the first phone call, that's the first red flag. What are we talking about?
After 10 years of not seeing each other, he puts me on his visitation list. I come to go visit him. I drive almost 3 hours, and then we start the marriage process. We get married in November of 2019. But mind you, I was visiting this man every weekend up until 2020. Then COVID hits, and they shut visits down completely in March.
I knew him since he was 11. I knew him since he was 11 and I was like 15.
Oh, okay.
Or 16, maybe younger, because I was like 15. So he had to have been like 9 when I first met him. They used to go to our church. I remember telling his mom, because I always thought he was a cute little boy, but I was older and I was already dating the kid's dad, so I couldn't be with him,
Wait, she said I was dating the kid's dad?
Yeah, they were high school sweethearts. So she was dating someone age appropriate, because she's 15, he was like 15, I think. He was around the same age as her. And she was interested in a 9-year-old boy. Yeah, which is very alarming.
Wait, I'm so sorry. What is dad? Someone's dad mean?
The kid's dad. So she has 2 daughters. Their biological father is her high school sweetheart.
Got it.
That she started dating when she was 15. But she's saying, when I was 15, I was dating the kid's father. My kid's father, not his dad. But he was 9.
Strange.
And I couldn't be with him, And she says, once I got married, I used to always tell his mom. She used to tell Isaiah's mom. Because he grew up quick. I would tell his mom, like, I'm going to be your daughter-in-law one day. I'm going to be your daughter-in-law one day. And she's like, no, you're not. My son is too young for you. And then in 2019, I reconnected with her son.
In prison?
Yeah. which is incredibly creepy, but she clarifies, okay, Isaiah was a minor when we first met, but I didn't date him when he was a minor. I'm not sure how she thought that sentence would help her case. Nevertheless, she gets 3 tattoos of Isaiah on her. One of their wedding date on her finger.
Please stop. No more tattoos, lady. Jesus Christ.
Isaiah on one wrist, Gonzalez on the other wrist, and these tattoos are huge. It would be more inconspicuous for her to wear 5 Apple Watches on one hand. It's that aggressively noticeable.
Like on top or bottom?
On top, and it's just like massive cursive. The whole wrist. And within 5 months, she announces her divorce. But one thing that has always gotten to people is that Ashley explains that Isaiah went into prison at 15 and he won't be eligible for parole until 2032. And if he doesn't get parole, he's not going to be released until 2055. So people are like, that's a very long time for a 15-year-old to get sentenced.
Yeah, what did he do?
40 years for a 15-year-old to get sentenced. Whatever he did must be really bad because he was 15. So they start looking into his criminal history.
Here we go.
1 count
This
of
is what I was
aggravated robbery, 1 count arson, and 1 count of murder. Sentenced to 45 years in prison. When Isaiah was 15 years old, he was involved.
Yo, lock that thug up! Get that motherfucker! Keep him in there! What's he doing over there?
In a very, very well, meticulously planned robbery that ends in a man's murder. His friend Ruben was working at Exxon gas station when Muhammad, his boss, decides he's going to go make a night bank deposit. He's going to take cash from the gas station and deposit it at the bank. Ruben texts his friends, 2 other people and Isaiah, so 3 people. They're in a car waiting for Muhammad. They catch him on the road and they stop him. They rob him of all his cash. They know exactly which route he takes, which bank he was going to, how much he has. This is all a very well thought out plan, meticulously done. They pull up to stop him and one of the friends ends up shooting him. They drag his body into the woods. They set Muhammad's car on fire and they leave. Eric is the one who fired the shots. He takes $4,000. Isaiah takes home $1,000 from this robbery. And they promptly spend it on whilst bragging to everybody about killing Muhammad. Muhammad has a wife and 7 kids. He has 6 daughters.
Oh, that's up, chat.
But sure, I guess that's hilarious. How is that hilarious?
Why would it be hilarious?
They're laughing to everyone they know. They just think it's so funny. He was sentenced to 45 years in prison in 2011. Sure, he was 15, but I mean, we all knew better at 15. This is not a situation where I don't think anyone can confidently say he was so young, he didn't know what he was doing, unless you're Ashley Trevino. But Ashley is posting on Instagram a word vomit collage. Second look Saturday. Meet Isaiah. He was given a 45-year sentence at 16 years old. Over the past 10 years, he earned his GED, OSHA, Electrical Level 1, Construction Craft Skills, Construction Site Safety Corps, all level certifications. In that period, he has also gotten married and become a wonderful stepdad to 2 beautiful daughters. He loves spending every weekend.
Keep them away from your kids, lady. What are you doing?
With his family during visitation at the All Red unit. He is involved in working as a supply clerk. Isaiah is also a talented artist who wants to continue his craft by opening up his own business once he returns to the free world. Isaiah plans on pursuing additional collegiate degrees. Isaiah believes that God will bring him home sooner than his release date. Isaiah is ready for the day when he can be given a second look. She posts, "So blessed my husband was chosen to be the second look person today. Let's pray we can bring him home soon. I will continue to do what's needed for him as a wife and will always be his voice. Love my husband so much. Hashtag let's bring him home. Hashtag proud prison wife. Hashtag my husband's biggest supporter."
Hashtag get the internet, lady. Yo, is anyone even looking at her post? What the fuck is going on? Is she just talking to herself? Just donawing the whole time, bro. Hashtag prison wife. Hashtag my baby hello, no one's listening? Where the f is everybody? Whatever, I'm just hashtag I love my husband. Hashtag he's so good. Oh my god. What going on, bro? What do you got going on?
He's a killer. The worst part is Ashley is very proud of all of this. She TikTok live battles with someone talking about her inmate hopping ways, and the other creator says, "That is a lot. How many inmates have you been with? Like 26, you said?" It's like 30 now.
Probably 26 in the last 5 years.
That is a lot.
Yikes.
And she's nodding and smiling like it's something that everyone should do. And they ask her, "Let me ask you a question. Why do you prefer inmates?" "I prefer inmates because I feel like If you're gonna get hurt, it's better to get hurt while they're incarcerated than out here in the free world. Because like I just said earlier, my ex Jesse, when he actually left and we broke up, that one hurt. I still feel hurt to this day. She likes the fact that they have no options.
Like we said
in another
earlier,
creator
chat.
battle, she straight up asks the other creator, you haven't heard Ashley the inmate hopper? I actually married someone who was incarcerated in 2019. We actually knew each other from out here though, and he's actually younger than me. So we reconnected. I became his prison wife, and that's where I met a lot of people that I talk to still. And it just went from there. When we separated, I went with another one and it just went on. Okay, let me ask you, have you ever been with somebody that's not incarcerated? Besides the father to your children, which they're broken up, clearly. And she's shaking her head no. It just doesn't pan out for you, or you just don't want it if they're not inmates. So my actual last relationship out here in the free world was in 2018, and we lived together and everything. And then I started getting inmates, and I've had like guys here and there in between, but I don't know. To say my last relationship out here in the free world is already such a wild sentence to utter. She will be on the phone with inmates during her live streams, just spewing words out of her mouth. You're my 30th inmate. Did I not tell you that? You really are. I swear. I've been with 30 inmates. Now I'm in like a prison sister wife relationship.
You're my 30th inmate. Did I not tell you that? I'm not with no one, just with you, but I've already married two. You're stupid. I mean, now I'm in a prison sister wife relationship.
Because I guess the other prisoner she's talking to has a wife.
What? She will call them? The conversation is like brief, I'm assuming? 'Cause
No,
they can't talk all day long, right?
No, but sometimes it's not brief, and it's not like 5 minutes. It's like 10, 15, sometimes more. And this is highly not allowed by most prison facility standards. You cannot be live streaming a prisoner's calls like that. You have to get proper permission.
Right.
And
But
she's just doing
streaming.
it.
Oh.
Yeah. She's saying this while her daughters are in the house, the doors are wide open, and their friends are over, and likely they're watching her on her live stream.
Wow.
Sometimes if the prisoners don't do as she says, she'll get very aggressive with them.
It's okay, because I got other options. I'm going to tell Lexi to send me somebody else anyways. You were the wrong option. You ain't nothing. Remember, you're incarcerated.
That's crazy.
Let that fat me like that. I'm like, that's why you talking to me, because I'm in prison. How about talk to someone outside? Oh, you can't. You got all them options out there, all them fishies in the sea, but you just trying to see me. Who really got the options? I got man butt right here. You ain't my fault. That's what I would say though.
Who's Lexi?
It's a friend that knows a lot of inmates. She says that she will be open and fine with dating an inmate that has charges of SA on a child. That's fine for her. She
says she will date.
You have kids.
Yeah.
PEDO.
Yeah, a PDF file, I guess, is how everyone is referencing it. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
She has this moment where she talks about how murder charges and SA charges are not that crazy because every single person she's been with has had those charges.
And that doesn't mean that
they happened. She asks her viewers, how do you know? Were you there? Were you there? Every single person I've been with has had those charges. Were you there? We are now entering the belly of the beast. So let's go through and recap all of her relationships. Her very first relationship, or her very first prominent relationship, she marries her high school sweetheart. She has 2 children with him, the 2 daughters that are now 15 and 13. They end up divorcing when their kids are 6 and 3 years old. This is in 2015. They've been together for about a decade. And suddenly Ashley is posting onto Instagram. OMG, found this pic from prom of 2006. My high school sweetheart, but now soon to be ex-husband. I will always care about him, and he don't even know that. Hashtag prom 06. Hashtag my junior year, his senior year. Hashtag I know, get out of my feelings. Hashtag he done moved on. Which implies that perhaps they're getting a divorce, and that perhaps hashtag he done moved on is oddly specific and pretty indicative that maybe he cheated on her or left her or didn't want anything to do with her
He probably got
anymore.
advice from his father.
Even later
when I got advice from my dad, I was like, Dad, like I don't know, I'm talking to this girl, like I don't know, and his only advice was he just said run. That's why he just said run. And ugly. I was like, you know what? You got it right. You right, boss. My fault.
The divorce is finalized. She posts a pouty selfie writing, "This was my last pic of me being his insert last name. LOL. My divorce was finally finalized after 9 years of marriage and 2 years of separation. Hashtag divorce final. Hashtag goodbye. Hashtag hello Garcia."
Hashtag
I guess her
grow up.
original maiden name.
Lady?
Hashtag bittersweet moment.
Wait, how old is she? Like 40 something?
But the reason that the two get divorced is because that she cheats on him allegedly with the man in
36.
prison.
Okay, heard you.
So I will say that it seems the children's father is
At
the
least that's
only
consistent.
redeeming man in this story, at least as of right now. After the divorce, he focuses on his career, is able to remarry, purchase a home while supporting the children financially by paying
Fire.
Ashley child support every month. It's said that he was also very involved in the girls' lives up until about a few years ago. And it appears that he couldn't see the girls as much, not by his own choice, but it seems perhaps Ashley was making it very difficult for him. 2 years ago, in
that usually
2023,
happens,
the
bro.
children's father ends up passing away from leukemia. And Ashley does everything in her power to gain sympathy from this. This must be traumatic for her. She's known and been in this relationship with this man for the greater part of her young adult life. They were high school sweethearts. But now she does have 2 children. They don't have their father anymore. It's really up to her to be a supportive mother so that they can grieve. And it's very hard to take her emotions seriously when she tries so hard to make it about herself. She states that she's not going to his funeral, but it's speculated that it's because she wasn't welcome there. She tries to make it seem like she's just emotionally not able to. She tells everybody that she might take a mental health break and she will be back. When she'll be back is unclear. May it be sooner, may it be later, maybe it be never, right? Well, she does come back the very next day, because galaxies don't just send themselves into the ether. She does not, however, pass up the chance to not make this all about her. She says things like, "That could have been me."
He didn't have to go. He wasn't doing anything. He didn't have to die. That could have been me.
I don't know how that applies. He did pass from leukemia. I'm not sure why she's even saying stuff like this, but it wasn't. And I feel that for my baby so much. I really do. And again, this is after her kids have asked her repeatedly to not talk about their father on live because they're grieving. They don't want to hear this. They don't want this business out there.
It breaks my heart when my babies just say, "I wish my dad was here. I wish my dad was here." Thank you for the hand heart.
You can't be serious. Chat, my baby daddy died. Oh, thank W tier 1 sub. W tier 1 sub in the chat. Oh, W mods. I'm just so sad.
She gets a donation. Everything does happen for a reason. So she's reading someone's comment that says everything happens for a reason. Everything does happen for a reason. I'm a firm believer in that. This is a pretty niche pet peeve of mine that I don't even know if I should be saying. But when someone passes away and people try to tell each other everything happens for a reason, I do understand the intention behind it. And in certain situations, maybe it's acceptable. But it's this weird feeling of this person's death is to further the plot for everybody else type.
Yeah, no, I get that. I feel like everything happens for a reason is like, oh, you miss your the school bus and then you end up, it's like a little small you know, you dropped your ice cream, but then you notice like, oh, maybe I'm diabetic and I just found out at the hospital. Okay, maybe not that. But you know, it's like small inconveniences, not someone dying, dude.
Type of energy. What do you mean everything happens for a reason? It's just kind of.
I get it.
I don't find it to be the most sensitive thing to say when someone has a passing in their life, especially the way Ashley says it. She says,
everything happens for a reason. Everything does happen for a reason. I'm a firm believer in that. Firm believer. And that's why I'm saying maybe it took this tragedy for me to open my eyes up and to see what the pain my babies would feel, not only with one parent gone, but with 2.
No, someone did not pass away from leukemia for your character development. That's not even a coherent sentence, Ashley. But she tries further to make this about her, and I genuinely think that she thinks that this man's death is just part of her character development, character arc, and she has no character arc. It is just a perpetual decline. Nevertheless, she says, whilst kind of creepily smiling, the other day, I tried to leave because I got mad. And H, my daughter, runs after me. And she sits in my car and she's like, "You're not going nowhere unless I go with you. I already lost my dad. I'm not losing you, Mom."
Oh.
You guys, my babies are going through it. Like, they are so scared. She's like, I'm not losing you. I've already lost my dad, Mom. It's just opened up my eyes now that them little girls need me. But then to make matters worse, while everybody is attending the funeral that she was not invited to, probably because of who she is as a person and the things that she says and how she treats her kids and probably how she treated her late husband, she is on live streaming dancing to songs that have lyrics like baby daddy, baby daddy.
What?
While his funeral is happening.
What?
Ashley then goes on to state that
Is
she's
this
been different
serious?
inmates. So these are a few notable relationships that she has been in. In no particular order, you have Isaiah, the one that was convicted of murder of Muhammad, the manager of the gas station and father of 7 kids. Ashley brings her kids to see him. She convinces them, at least briefly, to call him daddy for whatever reason.
And that's so fucked up because the kids just lost their dad. You know what I mean? That's so traumatic. And you're just bringing men in and out their lives. That's so unhealthy for the kids, man. Holy shit.
Those two, they end up breaking up. Things don't go well. She starts posting on Instagram. I have went to visit for 20 weekends straight, not missing one since I got on the visitation list since August 24, 2019. But this weekend, I'm not going to because I chose not to. Some things change, and I honestly don't know if we'll come back from this. It's hard when you're not at fault, but I'm going to do and continue to do what's needed for me and be the best mom I can for my girls. Then she dramatically posts, getting a divorce isn't always a bad thing. Never wanted to do it again, but here I am, and I know I will come out stronger than before. My babies need me. Fixing myself back up after being broken down to my lowest by someone who was supposed to love me. Apparently, their relationship came to an end, according to Ashley, when Isaiah heard rumors in prison that weren't true, she claims. Rumors that she was talking to other inmates. When they were briefly on a break, he asked her, promise me if we break up, which where are your priorities, you weirdo? He says, promise me if we break up, you'll never be with another incarcerated guy. Her next prison boyfriend is Noe Trevino. Noe was arrested in 2015 for stabbing a man outside of a nightclub. They get married in 2022. She's still married to him because she doesn't want to pay a $400-something fee to finalize their divorce. Noe is the one that initiated the divorce from behind prison walls.
Oh my God.
And she's been married this whole time. That she's been dating everybody else, calling people her husband, and that's where she gets the last name, Trevino.
That's a part of her brand now, bro.
So right now she's married.
Yes, to Noe Trevino, another murderer. Her daughter H says the guy is awful. She knows this because Ashley took them, her kids, to see the man in prison. At one point, it appears that she was dating another inmate, and the speculation, okay, so we don't really know much about this inmate. She never really spoke about him in great depth. However, she wore a necklace that would have his name, and it seemed like he was an inmate. And the speculation was that she's getting her makeup done one day on live stream. Oh my God. There's 2 girls with her that are doing her makeup and hair, and she is on her phone. So she's got a phone live streaming her, and then she's scrolling on her phone, and she gets some sort of text message, some sort of news, and it's speculated that she discovered news on the live stream that her boyfriend in jail was involved in some sort of jail fight and was probably hospitalized. She just starts sobbing, wailing, oh no, and just wailing. And I do believe this is a sad situation, and prison violence is a conversation that I think needs to be had. But a lot of netizens have chosen the right to withhold sympathy till later because, I mean, considering the types of people she dates, we don't know if this is a child SAer, we don't know if this is a killer, a mass murderer, we don't know anything. True. But her friends just tell her it's like this very strange moment. They're fanning her face, she's crying, she's getting her makeup done still, and they say, no, don't cry, you're a bad bitch, don't cry. I know, it's okay. Aw, try not to cry so much. Then you have Eli. Eli was in prison for strangling a woman. He's also free and constantly on TikTok live streams now. He was in prison for strangling a woman and also breaking his child's femur. He broke his 2-year-old daughter's femur. His whole excuse for that is that he didn't mean to break his daughter's femur, but they have a bone condition in their family. He says, quote, it makes our bones more easy to break, so understand that it's not a regular bone. That's the little detail that people are forgetting. It was a mistake. I was intoxicated, but I sat in the hospital all week for her. He slammed a truck door on his daughter's leg.
Damn.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The femur is the hardest bone in the body to break, so I don't believe for one second that they have any sort of bone condition.
Is that a ball sack or is that a tailbone in a
bed?
back?
No excuse. It is the longest, strongest, and heaviest bone that supports and can support up to 30 times the body weight of the person. It typically requires significant force, such as a severe trauma from a car accident, to break the femur. And Ashley exposes that while they were in a flirtatious relationship, because they're constantly live stream battling, they're flirting on camera. This is all public information. Like,
he's free now.
He's free, and they're constantly live streaming on TikTok together. They're meeting up, they're doing all these things. And then Ashley, she gets into these fights with her boyfriends, exposes them or starts rumors about them. And I say rumors because we'll get into that. But Ashley exposes that even Eli sent her a text message that if she doesn't respond quickly, it's about to be a DV situation.
What's a DV
which
situation?
He was in prison for strangling a woman. He's also accused of being an SAR by multiple women. And somehow Ashley, well, I guess not somehow, I would expect nothing less from her. She still has a cordial relationship here and there with Eli. They always have this like on and off flirtatious relationship on live streams. They get upset with each other for just the most random things that are not serious. They don't get upset with each other for essaying people, child neglect, breaking daughter's femur, neglecting daughters, nothing. They go and they get upset because Eli will go on live stream and say that Ashley Trevino is built like a juice box.
True. That motherfucker spitting. Yeah, he's spitting for real.
She has a very boxy body shape. But it is very strange to me that they are not upset with each other for the little crimes that some of them are committing. Then most notably, you have her relationship with Francisco.
Yeah, we know about him.
That is a huge part of the discourse, primarily for how heinous the crimes he committed were, but also because the two teenage girls he killed were 19 and 13. One of her daughters is 13.
Oh, wow.
What's especially alarming is that after Ashley live streamed with him, either he himself with a contraband phone in prison or somebody else made a TikTok account for him. I don't know which option is worse, which, by the way, he's also in another open case where he gave a prison guard $5,000 to smuggle in 100 pills of fentanyl and 1 pound of amphetamines.
Holy shit.
They were all caught. So he has another case. He might have a phone. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know if it's a fan account. I don't know if it's his phone posting his own TikTok fan edits. I don't know which one is worse, but there are videos of him talking on the phone in prison with very specific songs playing. Some lyrics read, I don't know why, but I fell in love with breaking the law. And it's romanticizing prison life and breaking the law. Her relationship with double murderer Francisco comes to an end, not because he killed 2 young girls, well, and then another, so 3, one of them almost the same age as Ashley's own children. It comes to its fateful demise because Ashley would constantly show him on her live streams when they were video chatting, letting him speak to her viewers, talking about his victims, laughing that he was innocent, making fun of his victims, which is clearly, she's not allowed to be live streaming their calls. He has his video call privileges revoked for 90 days. And that appears to be the extent of Ashley's undying love for criminals. Triple homicide? Debatable. 90 days without video chats is an unspeakable break in their relationship. That is a deal breaker. It cannot be. Then you have...
It's probably because she can't use them for content anymore. I don't know, bro. She seems so unreal that I can't tell if it's a character or like she's just actually a piece of shit. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Ash Trevino's more recent relationship with someone that she jokes is going to be her daughter's new stepdad.
Oh, probably.
This guy, his name is Santos.
Yeesh.
He's out in the free world, if you will. The allegation is that Ashley's oldest daughter, who was 15 when this took place, had shown her mom this guy's account of this random small TikToker and was like, I kind of have a crush on this guy. Look at him. He's kind of cute, isn't he, Mom? Which would be a normal, healthy thing for a girl her age to do. Just show her mom her internet crush. That is what it is, just that, an internet crush. But Ashley instantly goes and starts flirting with Santos. She will go on lives with Santos, this random man that she's never met prior to this, didn't even know existed until allegedly her daughter was like, hey, isn't this guy kind of cute? I kind of have a crush on him.
So he's not an inmate, he's just a TikToker.
Yes, but he has been accused of some heinous things as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so... double.
Here we go, bro.
Just talking about how she's going to breastfeed Santos, telling him she's going to breastfeed him on live stream while she grabs her chest and is like jiggling her chest around. Her daughter walks into the room seeing this whole interaction and asks another person on the live stream, some random creator, Ashley is asking, are you jealous because Santos is gonna have all of this? And she proceeds to get up and bend over. She tells Santos, you have to put body oil all over my body. Santos even asks Ashley's daughter, how do you feel that your mom stole your crush? To which her daughter claps back, Santos, how do you feel about being bald?
Being bald?
Yeah, he's balding. Oh. And Ashley just sits there. Why would you ask her that? Why would you ask her that? But does that stop her from publicly doing this and humiliating herself and indirectly her daughter? Although I don't think that her daughter should feel humiliated, I think that everyone on the internet is very well aware that she is her own person and her mom does not reflect her own personality. But Ashley tells her viewers, I've seen his pee-pee and he's already seen my nunu, okay?
I've already seen his pee-pee and he's already seen my nunu, okay?
This is where the word nunu is born, her private parts. She also releases a song where she's like,
it's like she sees her daughter as competition. Yeah, it's so unhealthy and just really weird as a mother, bro. But we already know she's not like the best parent. None of this is really surprising. It just keeps just going and going and going. It's like, holy shit, there's more. You know what I mean? An hour into this video, I was already like, Jesus Christ, this is just fucking crazy. Now it's just like, yeesh. I don't know if I'm desensitized to it or what.
Like,
this is
you want to
insane.
know how it smells? As Santos, he know it smell well.
Ew.
Yeah.
Are they still talking?
I want
right now?
no.
On and off, not really.
I want no.
She goes on to apologize briefly for her actions on the live stream. She said, first and foremost, I want to apologize for my actions the other day. I know I shouldn't have done the things that I did. Out of alcohol, I did. There's no excuse, but yeah, so I'm just going through that right now. It really opened up my eyes, so I apologize to anyone that followed me, liked me, and then stopped liking me after that. I run to alcohol for everything, so I really apologize from the bottom of my heart. But
what did she do?
Just flirting with this guy so weirdly in front of her kids and saying all these things. But she's not sorry because she continues, quote unquote, dating this guy afterwards. When Santos calls, she'll smile, show the live stream, Santos on the caller ID, pick up the phone. Hey, daddy. Ma'am, you look old enough to be his mother. What do you mean, hey, daddy? We'll get into that. Okay. He looks in his young 20s.
Okay.
Yeah. The whole thing is bizarre, and her relationship with her daughters is very alarming because the fact that this is her daughter's alleged crush and she feels comfortable doing this, and she's almost rubbing it, taunting it in her daughter's own face. And people have pointed out that anytime they do TikTok battles, because sometimes her eldest daughter will do a TikTok battle with her own mother, anytime her daughter wins the TikTok battle, Ashley looks genuinely upset. Genuinely upset.
Yikes.
So now, with this going on, Ashley and Santos finally make arrangements to meet each other. Originally, the plan was for Ashley to fly to LA to see Santos. That ends up falling through. The new plan is Santos will come see Ashley in Texas. For 3 days, Ashley is eagerly waiting for Santos, who is just not showing up. For 3 days, he stands her up. He just keeps standing her up. And this is a boy that she has never met in person before. She has no established romantic connection with him, but she is publicly wiping her tears with a crumpled up tissue because he's not showing up to see her.
Filter.
And she made him a whole brisket.
Bro, I hate him.
Make your kids a brisket. Yo, Stephanie, I was about to say the same thing. What the?
She never cooks for her kids, but she cooked him a brisket. And he didn't show up for her brisket. And she tells her viewers, I'm still human at the end of the day, you guys. It doesn't matter what happens in my life. I'm still freaking human. Inevitably, because fate is sick and twisted, Santos does end up making his way over to Texas to stay with Ashley.
Oh, no.
Her daughters are home. This is her daughter that initially showed her the crush, right? And now her mom is glued to him like a piece of gum. Ashley is latching onto him like a koala. It is the strangest sight to see. Her behavior reminds me of like a middle school relationship where someone is so deeply insecure and must show you that they're in a relationship and they have the emotional maturity of a Brussels sprout. So they just think that if they're physically touching someone, the world will believe that they're in love.
Ew.
This is live stream?
Yeah.
Look at this.
How does that make you feel? Just kidding.
Are y'all jealous because I'm in the same room as him or what?
Yeah, you looked at what you're doing, huh? Respect your last name, sir.
Moreover, throughout the entire live, she just keeps calling Santos her husband whilst biting her lip and staring deeply into the camera. She also has this flirting look. Anytime she's flirting with someone, she, ooh, this is her signature look. She bites her lip, squints her eyes, and then flares her nostrils.
Ew.
It's like her main goal. Yeah, but
Is
nothing.
she joking, chat? Is this like a? Does anyone know if she's like that's a meme or is she serious? There's no way she's real.
Compares to what is about to happen. Ashley is going on her very first date with Santos, her daughter's crush. She hires a makeup artist, puts on what I can only describe to be a long maxi dress that is not casual. It reminds me of someone might wear to prom. And they head to a club where they get seats in the back of the club and they order steaks. And all of this is being live streamed, and there's just loud music blaring. The bass of the music itself is enough to cook the steak to a medium well. She's asking Santos to cut her own steak because she's dainty and frail, and he's just there talking and messaging other girls whilst there's music just bumping at the club.
W
How
man.
do we know that?
She's live streaming it.
How do we know he's messaging other girls?
He's literally, other girls are on TikTok live being like, Santos just messaged me to show up. And I'm like, I'm not going to show up. Yeah.
Wow.
But then later in the live stream, she says, it was honestly like a dream come true, you know? Like, even though we were just friends or whatever, he made it special. This is unfortunately the very grim beginning of the Santos saga. He will constantly be a reoccurring part of Ash Trevino's problematic world, and it's pretty obvious that he's just here for the fame, if you can even call it that, and the money. But
yeah, I mean, dude, anyone would be. You can't be mad at him. He's making that bag, bro.
that should not take away from how uncomfortable
He's
their
doing what the men in prison are doing to her. He's just doing it with TikTok clout. You feel me?
relationship is. She will be live streaming Santos. They'll be doing the TikTok battles. She'll show him the haunted rose.
Look what I have charging.
Yeah, charging.
Ew.
Oh, you don't need that when you have me.
I need it for tonight, though.
Oh yeah, you're gonna definitely need that for tonight.
I don't have you tonight. All I have is the FaceTime.
Yeah. Oh, you could use right now.
Ew, she's
We're
doing a
on live,
face.
We can't.
I know. I mean.
But then she starts biting her lips and looking weirdly at the camera, and some people believe that she's using it under the table.
Ew.
There are allegations that she has done this before, using her haunted rose to haunt the entire internet. Allegedly, there are 2 clips of her where she has gone on live. Once, she just flat out left the screen, and you can hear things that sound like her using the haunted rose and being haunted. Another time, allegedly, she pretends to forget on live and starts using it. Now, these are things that I can very well see her do. However, I don't know, because there have been a lot of clips that have been taken out of context. I can't be 1,000% sure on which the context is for these clips, if they've been edited or altered, but I don't think it would really change the implications of what is all of this is doing to her daughter's upbringing. But if it is true, in one live where it's alleged that she was using the haunted, being haunted, she was playing the song How to Save a Life, the Where Did I Go Wrong? How to Save a Life by The Fray.
I love that
And
song, by the way.
if this is not edited, it sounds like she is having fun to the beat of How to Save a Life.
Ew.
Which netizens describe as, quote, diabolical.
Why?
Then
What
there
the
is
f is
the
going on?
infamous flashing live stream. She is live stream battling Santos, and for whatever reason, she decides that she is going to start rubbing her whole chest very seductively, or what I imagine she believes to be seductively, just fully rubbing like she's kneading dough, kneading a pizza dough,
Ew.
while staring into the camera, biting her lips, flaring her nostrils, her usual mating sign. She even tries licking her own chest, and she just...
Ew, she whipped that bitch. It look like my man. It look like my f***ing man. That's nasty. That shit is just out there. It's just out there, just wiggling around. Look at it. This shit look like her. It look like her titties start from her neck and then just go straight down. It's just stapled at her neck and just flops around.
Does this for over a minute until fully her whole chest is out of her shirt on a TikTok live stream.
Bro, that is insane.
Wow.
She flashes a 19-year-old boy on a live stream. Santos is 19 years old. Ashley is 36 years old. She's flashing him while her kids and likely other kids online are watching.
She's double his age.
Yes. People find out through Ashley's live streams that Santos is 19. He had claimed to everybody that he was 22. He works as a club promoter. And in most of Ashley's live streams, he's getting drunk. So everybody just assumed that he's at least 21, 22, because he does look very young, especially when next to Ashley. Not that 35 or 36 is old, but she looks much older than her age.
I mean, to on that, I'm gonna need some alcohol. I'm gonna need something. Crack, something, cocaine, something. You got me. You want me sober? You want me in there sober? Nah, something hard. Give me the liquor.
The most popular netizen comment is, that is a harsh 35, saying she aged pretty hard. Now, during a live stream, netizens that did some digging into Santos uncovered that he is not 22, that he's actually 19. They did some digging and they're like, wait, that guy is 19.
Right. What's your age, Santos?
I'm 19. I could box him.
So the age finally comes out. He's 19.
And people are spamming in the live stream like, wait, we just discovered he's 19. He's not 22. He can't be a club promoter. He's not supposed to be drinking. He's 19. And he becomes super emotional about the situation because he feels like his whole life is ruined. He starts crying on the live stream and Ashley is hugging him. This is the same woman that refuses to take her daughter to urgent care with a burn, who doesn't care that her daughter is throwing up or sick or anything. She's hugging him and he just wants to be alone. And she's like, shh, no, it's okay, it's okay. She's doting on him and he's just like, leave me the phone.
Stop. I got you. I told you that.
Aw.
I told you I got you.
Ew.
I got you. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. Stop.
You know, bro. He's trying to run away
she says
from
in
you.
A live stream, I don't even want to talk about it because right now I don't even have my kids. Y'all can hear it's quiet. You know, coming home and like seeing this empty house, it's sad. You know, it brings me back to when I didn't have them. They were not taken from me because I know there's going to be rumors circulating. No, my kids are not taken from me. But she says that with all the backlash of everybody finding out and she finding out, she says she didn't know Santos was 19. She is just in a bad place. And now everybody wants her kids taken away from her because Santos was provided alcohol because she assumed he was over 21. And all this drama is unfolding. And she's just very upset about it. The thing with Santos is he has allegations against him for SA. I don't know if any criminal charges were filed. It does not appear to be. But that doesn't really mean anything because a lot of the times they don't want to file criminal charges for SA. And I say they as in the police. But there are a lot of people who have said there are a lot of allegations out there. I just don't think anyone that is connected to Ashley, aside from her own children and maybe extended family members, are that good of people. I don't think you can be to some degree. Because a lot of people that knew her in the beginning, they just knew her as like a TikTok troll, like inmate hopper, hee hee ha ha. But once a lot of these allegations and the connections with these killers have come forward, a lot of TikTok creators have cut their ties with Ashley. So I think once you find out what she's done and to still be friendly with her is alarming. There's a video of Ashley live streaming and they're in an Uber heading somewhere. She's in actually, it's not an Uber. Her security detail is driving. I don't know why she has security. It's very much...
Chat, you want my Nunu? If you watch it on YouTube, comment Nunu. Comment Nunu. I want to see that Nunu in the comments. I want to see Nunu in the comments just so I know.
And Soto vibes.
It's that Nunu.
She says she needs security because anytime she goes out in public, she's just hounded and just constantly recognized. So her security is driving and it's one of those 3-row SUVs. Security is in the very front and in the middle seat, you have Ashley and her 2 friends. And in the very last row behind Ashley, you have Santos and another girl who is also a TikTok streamer.
Holy shit, there's 8,000 people watching? Jesus Christ. Yo, we're washed. We have no clout compared to her.
Live streaming, dancing to music. You see Santos in the back. And it looks like he's shoving the girl sitting next to him, shoving her head down in a way that would indicate that she is engaging in oral activities with him. She does not seem to be enjoying herself. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm just trying to describe the video. It's not exactly certain what's happening there briefly. Some netizens thought that initially she was doing a line of drugs, but Santos, being the upstanding character that he is shoving her head down to make it appear like it's something that it's not. Regardless, Ashley notices and her whole energy shifts because she looks very upset when she's putting 2 and 2 together. Again, a lot of netizens were freaking out because they didn't know what was taking place, but it's definitely not a great look. Netizens are very split on how to feel about this. Now, I end up finding clips, and there are, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have if you're really deep into the Ash Trevino lore like I am right now. And
yeah, I feel so bad for you, Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie, for, I don't know, just indulging in this, you know, so I don't have to.
in that case, I'm sending you some luck. But I did find this one clip where it appears the girl in the back seat addresses the situation. As in, she did engage in intimate relations in a car full of people.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real, I did do that. He deserved it. He was working hard. He was taking care of us. He was very nice to me. He was doing a lot of stuff for me. So I sure did. What about it? Y'all haven't?
What?
Yeah.
What?
I looked at the camera after the fact. Honestly, I didn't even know she was like live. She basically blasted me. Yeah, she's doing it on purpose. So she blames Ashley for putting this on live stream, but she does claim that this did take place. I will say that she is also a very questionable character. She was caught on her child's father's Ring camera, so her baby daddy's Ring camera, if you will. Driving to his house with her newborn baby in the middle of the night, leaving the newborn baby in the car seat on the front porch, ringing the doorbell, and then booking it back to her car while giggling. She's like, hee hee, and then like she's ding dong ditching someone, but it's
the baby
just abandoning her own child so that she can go party and do God knows what. He ends up posting that Ring footage.
These are crazy.
Yeah. Santos addresses the whole situation, and he has a completely different story. He says nothing happened in the backseat. She was just reaching over for her phone and her mouth just happened to be open. Clearly, he thinks it's funny. Ashley then goes on to have a huge falling out with Santos briefly, where she claims he essayed her. She says, I'm getting everything together. I'm getting videos. I'm getting everything. I got text messages, everything. She says, I got bruises on my arm right now. I got bruises right there. I'm not under his spell no more. I'm not going to play anymore. I do believe that Ash Trevino can be a terrible person and can be essayed. I don't think that those two things are mutually exclusive, but I do think that in this situation, it's very hard to take the allegations seriously because she'll go and hop on a live stream with Santos after she makes these allegations. And she's like,
You said I essayed you?
You said that about me.
No, you said I essayed you.
You said that about me.
Did I essay you?
Answer this. You said that about me, yes or no? You said that about me on your live. That's all you said.
They continue to go back and forth before calming down and giggle-gaggling. Because while Santos is arguing, he was in the midst of getting a tattoo, which Ashley jokes that he should get her name tattooed on him. And all is well in the morally bankrupt world that is Ash Trevino. Until 20 hours later, Ashley starts getting emotional on live because Santos had texted her that he can't do this anymore. That the situation has just spiraled out of control. In any event, this sends Ashley into a full-blown orbit, and she goes onto a trip with a bunch of other One of the attendees is a 20-year-old woman who brings along her little brother. Now, this little brother becomes quite a controversy with Ashley.
This is never ending.
Yeah, there's pictures of them on this trip. It's so weird. It's like Ashley is their chaperone. But she's walking around the mall, and it's the way that she tries to act like she fits in with a bunch of teenagers when she's 36.
That is old as that look like the mother. Come on, kids, let's go shopping. What the is that, bro?
I don't know, 46. No offense.
And they're all young.
They're
TikTokers.
all young.
Oh my God.
In one moment on the live, she keeps trying to kiss him on the side of the face, which is very alarming.
Ew.
And even his older sister, Bree, is telling her, like, don't do this. Like, don't kiss my little baby brother. Like, you're too old for him. And then there's other parts of the night where she says that she wants to wear a dress for easy access, indicating that she wants Bree's little brother to have easy access to her. That's the problem, right? Some rumors were going around that he was 16, which would be alarming, right? But he does go on live to further state that he's actually 18. I am inclined to believe that he's 18. It does appear that he's 18, but it's still crazy.
It's still weird, but like,
during the night, Ashley is live streaming alone with this guy. She's cuddling him. She's sitting right next to him. He's sitting there facing the camera, looking incredibly uncomfortable, and she's just resting her head on his shoulder. It's just so much is happening. So with her talking about being interested,
he looks terrified. You ever seen a chihuahuas with anxiety just sitting there shaking?
in a night when
Terrified.
Her talking about being interested in Santos, who is 19, when she's 36. And then this situation, it's just starting to get weird. Even when she talks about her daughter, if she were to see an older man and lies about her age, she wouldn't call the police. All of this is starting to get very, very strange. I mean, she is, in my personal opinion, a predator, just like the ones that she's dated. So while all of this is going on, the netizens are reporting Ashley and her whole family to CPS, trying to get her children in a safe place away from Ashley. And she even admits it. Yes, I've had like 20 CPS cases. They dismissed them all. Because you know why? My kids are in good hands. My kids are taken care of. And she says, and the other day, I was laughing because whenever I was on live, well, before I went on live, I actually saw someone else on live. I'm not going to say who, but she was doing the same thing that I do. She was literally feeding her kids, and it's like what I do. And literally people in her comments were like, oh my God, she's such a good mom. You're such a good mom. You're like the best mom and this and that. And I'm like, bro, I do that same stuff with my kids. Y'all literally bash me. Oh, you're a bad mom. Oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing it like this? Why are you doing it that way? Why are you feeding them like that? My kids were older than hers. And y'all are like praising this female. It's because y'all
Wait, why we roll our eyes? Why we roll our eyes, Stephanie?
don't like me, but y'all like her. And that's what it is. That is what it is. In Ash Trevino's world, it is always the viewer's fault, all of this. In another live stream clip, she says, I don't even have my kids right now. So her kids are constantly wanting to stay with her parents, going to their grandparents' home. So they're either with their grandparents, it seems like they're there most of the time, and then Ashley will have them sometimes. And she says, I don't even have my kids right now, and it sucks. And it's because of y'all. I don't have my kids because of y'all. So yeah, they can come back anytime they want, but I just choose not to have them because of y'all.
Are we sure you choosing? Are we sure? We sure you choosing? Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me because I sleep on an air mattress.
Stream because one of her top gifters went over to her ex-best friend Hefa's live stream and donated money, and she's sobbing. She's genuinely sobbing.
I'm sorry, guys. I had to end that live. She stole one of my biggest gifters, bro, and I don't think that's right. As a friend, you should never steal your friend's gifters.
Not when her kid needs to go to the hospital or is throwing up or has a burn. She's crying. She's crying more than when she cried about her late husband, her ex-husband dying.
Who are these donors? Like, who's donating? Who's her top donor?
A lot of people have questions about that. Who are these people? We don't know. And I feel like there are a lot of causes out there that they could be donating to that don't include Ashley Trevino.
Kenji, would you cry for us if we get stolen? Listen, I'm a firm believer that what's meant to be is meant to be. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's where you use that. That's where you use that. It's meant to be. It's meant to be. If y'all want to go ahead and donate and give to other people, do your thing, girl. Do your thing. You know what I mean? I'm not going to. That's your money. I don't go. At the end of the day, you support me, I appreciate it. If you're not, it's still appreciated. I hope you're still watching. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah, she's crying that her top gifter, she says, my friend Hefa, because she's the one that got the money.
She has money. Her husband has a trucking company. I have nothing but this. If I don't make money on TikTok, I make nothing for my kids and they can't eat. Okay?
She's wiping tears from her eyes. She stole one of my biggest gifters, bro, and I don't think that's right. This is how I support my kids. I don't have their dad's child support no more. He passed away. Do you think that I asked God to take their dad from them? No, I didn't. Do you think I said, God, please take their dad? No, but he died. Her daughter then comes into the room to tell her, I love you, but you need to quit saying stuff about my dad, okay? She also states that she just started her partying life. She says that everyone is accusing her of being a partier, and she says no, before this she was a mom and a wife. She just started partying like just 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Just 5 years ago. All of this comes to a tumultuous boil when Ashley Trevino decides to take her kids onto her very first podcast appearance. She is going to the Bop House, which is a content house for OF creators based in Miami, I believe. And Camille is going to interview them. She's a famous OF creator who also has her own controversies. She's the one that was viral for having her brother on the podcast and asking him about what it's like
Oh, that weird It's whatever, dude.
have a sister who's on OF.
Christian, tell him that it's not that bad having a sister that does.
Oh, it's horrible. No, I couldn't even go on a field trip. Like, I got bullied so much I couldn't even go on a field trip. Isn't that insane?
And it was just a very, a lot of netizens felt bad for the brother, I guess. I don't know too much about Camille's lore, but Camille does not ease up on Ashley. She asks them, do you think TikTok changed y'all's life for the better or for the worse? Ashley responds,
I can honestly say I've been blessed by TikTok because not only do I get paid with the battles, I get paid with the views. But if I could go back to my life before where nobody knew who I was, I liked it. I only had like 50 to like 100 views in my lives. And now there's like thousands of people that watch me.
So keep the money, take away the fame.
Literally.
Yo, just unfollow Ash Trevino.
Literally.
Make her not popular at all.
Literally.
She hates it.
Cancel me. Y'all want to cancel me.
Ashley's daughter responds, I feel like I would rather go back to my old life. Yeah, like we have money, but I don't like being online publicly. I'm growing up. That's why I'm homeschooled too.
Wow.
In the beginning at school, people noticed my mom and I got a lot of stares in the cafeteria. So if I could, I honestly would go back to my old life because
that's up.
being a nobody to people, because that's when I was more confident. I didn't care how I looked. And now since I'm public, I care more about how I look and how I go out and stuff. In Camille's podcast, she says, so I always try to tell everybody that I'm always going to be the villain in their book. This is Ashley. She's saying, I'm always going to be the villain in everybody's book. She says, they've already got this persona that they have of me, and that's just who I am to them. I've raised my kids since they were born. This is a lie, she said in other live streams that her parents mainly watched her kids. She says, I've never left their side. Still to this day, I have never left their side. She claims on the podcast that after the father of her children has passed away in 2023, she accuses his family of coming out online to, quote, get clout. Yeah.
What?
She says that his family are trying to gain clout by bad-mouthing her on the internet. And it doesn't seem that way. It seems like they're just trying to get closure. And like, what are you doing? Stop talking about the girl's father. Like, you don't even, why are you doing this?
There's
like,
zero reason for her to talk about her too. Like, I don't.
This is so messy. But she says, as soon as my name started going across the internet, they started coming out with certain stories. Oh, I'm the kid's dad's friend. I'm the cousin. I'm the aunt, whatever. Now they're trying to get the followers. They're trying to get this. They're trying to get that. But in reality, they weren't there for my kids like they should have been. Camille asks them, have there been instances
They're your kids! Am I missing something?
where your mother has expressed feelings of jealousy towards you, and how has that affected your relationship with her? Her eldest daughter, H, responds, there's this video going around of my mom being jealous of me when I was little for having a better relationship with my dad than she did. And it just looks like Ashley is staring her child down while she's talking, where Camilla has to be like the one to remind her, I mean, girl, that's his kid. That's his whole kid, not you being jealous of a baby girl.
Damn, W.
Like, there's nothing to be jealous of. Meanwhile, Ashley is biting the inside of her cheek, staring her daughter down. Her daughter continues, I mean, I am her daughter. They say I look like her, so there's nothing much different from us. I have more followers than her, so maybe that.
No way.
Yeah.
W.
Yeah.
W.
Which Ashley then takes the mic to do her mom's speech, and it's something that she consistently does. I would like to say that Ashley is one of those people that is not a mom. She's not a good mom. Personally, that's my opinion.
I mean, a lot of people aren't, you know what I mean? And it's good to know that you aren't. So then that way you don't have kids. You feel me? A lot of people are not meant to be parents. You know what I mean? They don't even have their own life together. They don't even take care of their own shit. So kids is just out of the question, bro. Like, eesh.
But she loves the idea of being a mom. She loves embodying the trauma and obstacles of being a mother and motherhood. She responds, I'm not jealous of her. I'm blessed to be able to give her the life that I've always wanted as a little girl. It just doesn't make sense. Even the romantic values that she's teaching her children. In the podcast, they briefly talk about Ashley's newest fling, a man named Max, one of her new boyfriends. And E, the younger daughter, mentions, oh yeah, Max is nice. I like him for now. He seems polite. So Camilla is asking, why is he polite? Like, why do you like him? And E explains that one time Max was calling her mom's phone. E picks up her mom's phone and tells him, hey, my mom's in the other room. And he just tells E, oh, well, could you have her call me back when she gets back in the room? And Camilla's so confused, like, that's it? That's the story? Just basic manners? What do you mean that's why you like him? And then Ashley explains previously Jesse, the one that, you know, the prison boyfriend that she picked up from jail, had called Ashley before. E had picked up and he flips out on Ashley, screaming at her, don't pick up the phone next time. He did not want to interact with the kids.
Jeez.
Which, why would you stay with someone like that? Side note, later Ash Trevino goes on to live to say that, I just found out today that Max goes both ways. So it's like, bro. And she has this look that indicates yikes.
Like, I just found out today that Max goes both ways. Like, yeah. So it's like, bro.
Yeah, push it 40. Push it 40.
First of all, I don't know how true that information is considering the source is Ash Trevino, but even if it is true, why is she grossed out? Being bisexual is normal. Being a heinous, neglectful mother is despicable. What kind of sick, twisted values are these?
Damn.
But Ashley states that
Stephanie, oh my God. Yo, Stephanie's not pulling punches. Oh my gosh, she's going crazy right
she
now.
and Max are going to get married, because I guess this is before she let her homophobia run through, and that he has not in fact smelt her nunu because he is a Christian who is saving himself till marriage. Which all netizens and Camilla are questioning. This is not that that's abnormal or not okay, but it just sounds like an excuse. And perhaps,
I mean, yeah, because I wouldn't want that new either.
perhaps he's using her for money and clout. Because if he is a devout Christian, devout enough to abstain from premarital relations, why would he be interested in Ashley?
Oh, he's in prison too, or?
No.
Oh.
There's a TikTok play.
And the
TikTok
podcast just goes through a lot of Ashley's wild moments. Like, for example, Ashley just has some bizarre live stream moments. There are moments where she'll pull up a video of herself crying to sad TikTok sounds, and she proudly shows it in the live stream. Like, yeah, I was in pain. And people are so confused. They say, they're commenting, netizens are commenting, looks 45, acts 15. Not the 2020 depressing TikTok audios in the big 2025. I'm sorry, is sadness in the room with us? She also has a very unique way of flirting, like I said, that is constantly brought up and clipped and is viral all over TikTok. She also loves listening to sad songs. She'll stare off into the distance while playing Spotify and sad songs, trying to be the main character. Things that I did when I was 9 in the car while my mom was driving me to Barnes and Nobles. That's what she's doing at 36 years old on a TikTok live stream. She's sitting there listening to the song Get You the Moon. You know the song that's like, 'cause you are the reason I'm still hanging on. And it's like, if death was coming for you, I'd give my life for you. And the comments read, and who set this up? This music, I am dead. She's also accused of sending herself flowers while on live. Yeah, she just acts so surprised that she got these flowers from...
Oh my God, I got a teddy bear. Oh my God.
An anonymous suitor of hers, and netizens are commenting, this is me sending myself candy Valentine's Day grams in middle school. Another comment reads, because she gets a little teddy bear with the flowers. The bear is even looking at us like, this is a lie. Yeah. Ashley also used to work at a dentist's office up until December of 2024. People didn't know that. People thought that she was a full-time TikToker for the longest time because she was talking about how she worked at a dentist's office. The practice was sold to new management that was going to come in, and some of the new managers were Indian American.
He gave us an option to stay with the new owners or leave. And I chose to leave because they were Indians. And I'm not working under no Indians. I'm sorry, I'm just not.
Yeah, she's racist. She literally, on one live stream, she was teaching her daughter slurs for all the races and ethnicities. It was really bad. Yeah.
You can't really find one good thing about this person.
No. But it's not true. She did not quit. Not that it makes her statement less racist, more acceptable, less deplorable, nothing. She actually continued working at the dentist's office until December of 2024. She was fired because netizens pulled clips of her doing, I don't know, any one of her heinous things and sent it to her bosses.
Damn.
She was let go. There are allegations that she has bed bugs. She's in bed live streaming one day and a bug just crawls around her on the pillow, inside the pillowcase. Now, it's unclear if it's a roach or a bed bug, but it is clear that Ashley notices and she tries to get up. She acts super nonchalant about it instead of freaking out or even addressing it. Later, she's asked if she has bed bugs, and she says on the podcast, no, it was like a beetle or something. Again, what these people need to realize is I do live in a duplex. I have neighbors. So with that, whatever they have, it does transfer over. But I don't have like roaches or anything. No. She's asked, could there be potential bed bugs? No, I haven't found any. That was a beetle. But of course, people take one little thing, let it be a flea on your leg, and they're going to say it's something else. And again, that's why I'm moving, because my landlord, I feel like for what I pay for there, I can literally find a place, a house somewhere. I want a 4-bedroom and 2.5 bath. I already have my mindset on what I want. Netizens disagree. They argue it does not look like a beetle, not even remotely. And it's just odd that instead of screaming or freaking out, because if you have the occasional bug, you start screaming and freaking out. But the fact that she just hides the bug from the camera and tries to play it off is very strange.
What bug? What are you talking about now? No, hold on 1 second. Just look at my eye. You see my eye? Just smack that mother real quick. Get that mother. There we go. Okay, what are you talking about? There's nothing there. Look, there's nothing there. What are you talking about? That is fucking bad, bro.
In the interview with Camilla, as a joke, asks her if she's ever had a fake bag because there were rumors that her LV bags were fake. Ashley seems genuinely irked and she says,
They literally think my Louis are fake. I can pull up the receipt right now if you want to see it. I can log into my Louis account right now.
Oh, she got an account.
I got a YSL account,
Okay,
Gucci, and Louis.
She also talks about how at their age, she, Ashley, did not have a Gucci bag like her daughters. So she bought them a Gucci bag for hitting, I believe, 1 million followers.
Oh, wow. Nice.
You know what? I might have not had a Gucci bag, but I had their dad, okay?
I think she's trying to say she didn't need a Gucci bag because she was in love and in a happy relationship. But that's really weird because why are you comparing that with your daughters? But it also feels so wrong because he recently passed away and the girls are clearly still grieving. It's a very bizarre thing to say.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she states that some of her kids' friends are not allowed to come over anymore. This is in the podcast. She says because, quote, their parents don't feel comfortable because my address is leaked. Then why do you feel comfortable with your kids being there? Camilla asks Ashley straight up, so you don't feel any sort of guilt or sadness that they've lost friends because of it and they've expressed that? No, because it's not even for that reason, to be honest. I feel like some of their friends are jealous because of the life that they have.
Huh?
Camilla asks Ashley's children, do you think that maybe sometimes she can exploit situations to get views? I'm gonna be real, yeah. Ashley disagrees. She says if anything, she wants to protect her kids.
This 2-hour video, you have done nothing to protect the kid. Get the out of here, bro.
E brings up the time that Ashley asked for Galaxy donations if they want to know about her health conditions. And Ashley says, oh yeah, but that was like a while back though, and you weren't even in the hospital. E also goes on to state, quote, honestly, sometimes I feel like it's weird for girls to go for younger guys, but like it's weird for my mom. She's 36 and she gets with people in their teens.
Damn.
Santos, he actually lied about his age. He said he was 22, but he's actually 19. Eventually, Camille sends the kids out of the room so that she can talk to Ashley alone. And she says, Santos was caught licking your haunted rose on live. What the f are you doing with that?
And he licked your rose toy. Why did he do that?
Because Santos is a freak. Santos sleeps with everybody.
Did he sleep with you?
Am I supposed to answer that truthfully?
Yes.
Truthfully?
Yes. Did Santos sleep with you? Did you sleep with Santos, actually?
So, yes, we have done stuff.
Okay.
Twice.
Jeez.
Twice. 2 separate occasions.
With a
Dude.
19-year-old boy.
I didn't know he was 19 at the time.
So this is before you knew?
Yes.
Claimed before you knew?
Literally. Like, we did it twice, and it was literally before Christmas, so...
Side note, Santos addresses these allegations of being intimate with Ashley in a separate live, and he says, I never hit the Nunu. Ever, ever, ever. We said, I want Nunu. We made that word up joking around. I never did that. Like, you have to understand. I walked into her room one time, and the
I did the same, bro. Denied, deflect. What?
was right next to the rose toy. So I'm assuming she eats while she plays, and I don't like that. That's nasty. Like, bro. Like, every time I had to Febreze everywhere, I had to shove toilet paper in my nose. I would never, ever, ever get near that Nunu, ever. And that's on arrogant. He says that.
That is crazy.
That's his whole spiel. So Camille starts firing off the tough questions. If TikTok banned you tomorrow, how would you make money? What's your plan B? I have other socials that I'm working on right now, and I have other collabs coming up. Okay, care to leak the collab that you have coming up? A good one. It's a YouTube video, so just know that there's going to be like 20 guys. No other
Like a
crazy
20v1?
revelations happen in the podcast. It's just a mess. At one point, Camille, after H, talks about how she doesn't like her mom's newest prison husband that she's actually divorcing, Noe Trevino. Camille says, y'all, to the girls, y'all just come live with us. Which, H says, yes, please. But Ashley starts joking, well, now you have 2 new members. Ashley might have just been saying this without realizing the implication, but it's pretty bad. Camille is part of the Bop House, which, like I said, is a group of OF models that live in a house together to film content, 18 plus content. So Camille saying, come live with us, sounds very much like, I think we can take care of you better than your mom can. Just live with us, because that sounds miserable. Meanwhile, Ashley says, you have 2 new members, implies that they would be members of the Bop House, which is a content house for explicit creators, and it freaks Camille out. Like, she doesn't even know what to say. She's like, what did this lady just say? This is crazy.
Well, they have 2 new members.
And probably the most explosive question in the entirety of the podcast is when Camille asks, question, do the kids have beds? H responds, well, I don't live with my mom. At your mom's house then, do you have a bed? No. I'm gonna zail you. I'm gonna give you money. I want a bed, 2 of them. I want a headboard and 2 nightstands. I'm gonna order that before you leave this house today, and I'm gonna insert the clip of the receipt here. And Ashley is explaining there's a whole story behind that. She's trying to explain that her mom was gonna go get the bed, but they didn't know the style of the bed, and she couldn't go out in public. And Camilla's like, oh, because you're just that bitch. And she's like, literally, no, like, I really don't. Like, if I go out, I'm gonna get noticed, and if I don't have my security guard, I'm not going anywhere.
Is anyone noticing? Get the out of here.
Ashley still brags about how much money she makes, and she starts giggling, and Camilla says, and her kids still don't have a bed, so what's so funny, Ashley?
Ooh.
She laughs even louder, and she's like, nothing's that funny when your kids don't have a damn bed, I'll tell you that right now.
Damn.
Now, this podcast gets released, and within a few days, I think it's at like 7-8 million views. Ashley is pretty upset about this podcast. She alleges that Camille received like $60,000 for this podcast. I'm not sure where that allegation is coming from. I didn't see any embedded endorsements or anything of that sort. I don't know if she's implying that she made $60,000 off of ad revenue, which is kind of crazy. But she said that she had known, if she had known that Camille was going to name the podcast the worst mom on TikTok, she would have never sat down for the podcast. She says, because I'm not the world's worst mom. And I'm telling you, like, there were times during that podcast that I wanted to quit doing it because it got so hard on me, and I didn't. I just said, you know what? You got to swallow it. You got to say what you got to say. So I did. There were questions asked that I didn't feel comfortable with, but I still answered it. And like I told her, and I don't know if she put it in the podcast, but I'm always going to be the villain in everybody's story. I could sit here and go to church every day, every Sunday, give my life to God 100%, and you will still see me the same way you see me right now. A bad mom, alcoholic, whatever you want to call me, fat, ugly, whatever.
Well, maybe because you are all those things. Like, what are we talking about? Get your kids in bed. Let's start small. Get your kids in bed. You know what I mean? Like, what the f are we talking? Maybe people will start seeing you a little differently. You got an OF model offering to buy your kids a bed on an interview. Just think about that, bro. That's already crazy. What the f are you talking about?
Y'all are still gonna see me in that way, even if I change my life. And if you don't like me for who I am, then I can't change that about you, because I probably don't like you anyways. Ashley is very upset with Camille. See me in that way, even if I change my life. And if you don't like me for who I am, then I can't change that about you, because I probably don't like you anyways. Ashley is very upset with Camille, but also with her viewers. She says,
so for those of y'all that call CPS on me, remember, she's not in my custody right now. Why do you think she doesn't live with me right now? Y'all are going to get my parents in trouble. So when y'all want to call CPS, y'all think about that. It's not me getting in trouble. It's my parents. Do y'all think I only fight battles on TikTok? I fight them personally every day. As much as it hurts me, because I wish my baby lived with me, it's just not good right now. And that's our decision. Okay?
She also says, and the irony just whooshes straight
so
over her
delusional.
head. She says,
it's kind of
but
crazy.
Again, Camille and the Bop House, they do stuff for views. You got to remember that. She's an influencer. She does stuff for the views because she gets paid off the views.
Right.
She also says that she should have asked Camille for payment had she known that she was going to get that deep into it. It appears that the podcast made the girls very upset with their mother, to which she goes on live to talk about it. Ashley has sad music playing in the background and says,
no one said it would ever be easy being a mom. Right now is the time I wish their dad was alive.
Oh, man.
And I know she acts out because he's not here no more, and she hasn't coped with her dad gone.
Yeah, and it's almost like she can't cope with it because her mom keeps bringing her dad up on lives. You know what I mean? Like, what the are you talking about? Like, at some point, you gotta realize, like, just a smidge, even just like a little bit. I want to believe this is a character. It's crazy. I want to believe this is a character. I'm getting gaslit. It's wild.
So I know it still hurts her because she cried for him last night. My mom told me. She didn't get to tell him bye. He passed away when she wasn't there.
She's trying to imply that her kids acting out against her and blocking her on TikTok is because they're upset that their father passed away, so they're acting out in general, and it has nothing to do with her being a mom. There is some back and forth between Ashley and Camille, which I don't think is significant compared to all of the types of people that Ashley has been dating. And I think the Ashley lore could go on for 4 more episodes, but I won't subject you to that.
Thank
But
you.
there has
Oh my
been back
God.
and forth of Camille not purchasing beds for the kids yet. Ashley claims Camille is a liar. She's not purchasing the beds. Camille is claiming, I told you to send me the beds and you haven't sent me the ones that they wanted. So like, what do you want me to do? Camille also states that Ashley requested to stay a night longer and charged over $1,000 at the Ritz-Carlton to Camille's credit card. Ashley says, no, I have the credit card statements. It charged my card. And then Camille is saying, because I told you I would pay you back. Like, I'm not going to give you my credit card, so I'm reimbursing you. It's the whole thing. Most
That
netizens
sounds
are
like
supporting
so
Camille.
much. Oh my
Others
God.
think that Camille should not have invited Ashley's daughters to the infamous Bop House, a house known to be a place where OF creators collaborate and make content. Some netizens comment,
Probably smell
Camille
wild in
needs
there.
to take responsibility. She is the one that invited the minors to the Bop House just to humiliate their situation more and bring up old wounds. I would be uncomfortable too. Others bring up Camille's past podcast with her brother, saying she's not that great of a person either, but I don't really know. Another one reads, Camille humiliated all of them. She may have said all those things just to get back at Ash, but those kids didn't need to be there. So netizens are just kind of confused on how bad of a mom can still have a platform and keep making more accounts, and more than that, still have people donating. That doesn't make sense.
That's crazy.
None of it makes sense.
I feel like this is like a new age now, you know, like someone can actually air out all of these laundries
Yeah.
24/7, and you can peek into someone's life like this.
Who's the target audience for her streams as well? Like, who watches them? Is it like other 36-year-olds that don't have their life together? You know what I mean? Or like, I don't get it. Messy people, kids, teens, no idea.
And just like, oh my God, this is actually happening.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, these TikTok live streams are so scary. And people are saying that it might, I will say that a lot of people are treating the situation as a hee hee ha ha, lol cow, internet situation thing, to the point where when I briefly heard about some of the things Ashley Trevino did, I thought it was going to be on our Mott's channel, because it seemed like people were just making fun of her making rap songs like My Nunu, Does It Stink, Does It Smell, stuff like that. But it's really serious. And one comment that highlights that is, all the CPS cases for Gabriel Fernandez were closed. Let that sink in. That means absolutely nothing. Can you imagine the horror stories these girls have since they were little?
Yeah.
And with that, that is today's episode. What are your thoughts on Ash Trevino? I know that I wasn't able to encapsulate all the things that she's done because she's on live practically every day, and she's probably on live right now, but what are your thoughts?
I have too many. I don't know what to think, if I'm being honest. YouTube, what are your thoughts? I can't believe I just watched 2 hours of... Oh, give me the out! Oh!